Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody. Welcome on this Saturday, May 30th, 2026, to the 1034th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the Stream with me.
Beautiful.
Isn't that adorable?
Yeah, feed me. Oh, we want to talk about the robins.
Yeah, that's, I have that on there. Oh, yeah. Oh, I totally have that on there. But that is my darling and adorable wife who is looking at the paintings of Art Paul Schlosser as we speak, because he's still, God bless him, he put up this thing to do a painting a day for 365 days. And he did. And now it's past a year, and he's still doing a painting a day, which I think is absolutely wonderful. And some of them are really, really nice. So,
see, this is someone's dog. That's cute.
That's
someone's pet.
Can I show her, or yeah?
Oh, it's not sold already, but here.
Oh, it's sold.
It's sold to the person whose pet it probably is.
See, yeah, this is adorable. Look at that. That's an art pole, and I love that it's up against like a wooden fence.
Well, maybe that's like what the person. I mean, it looks like really someone's pet. It's very specific.
Yeah. So I gotta get back to him about commissioning a potato picture, but anywho, Art Paul is one of the many Tekaluf Farsin guests who have been on Dave's Gone By over the years, and. I've been reminded of all these people because we've been putting every single episode of the show up on Spotify, finally. And it's just been this re-education of going backwards in time, show by show by show, and being reminded of how many folks have been in the Daverhood, how many, alas, have passed, but how many are still going strong, even though we've been on the air for 23 and a half years. Yeah.
Everyone. That's what I put as a little bubble.
So yeah, not only are we on davesgoneby.com, on Facebook and live on Facebook, Saturday mornings from 9 until noonish or thereabouts. Also, we're on archive.org. Also, I've got a YouTube channel, and I've been reminded how many of our episodes have been either blocked or partially blocked, not for any naughty content, but just because of copyright restrictions on sound material that we have played. But, so far, Spotify's only given me a little hassle with 2 or 3 episodes out of the 1,033 that are up there now. So,
what is their concern?
Same thing, copyright. Same thing, a song that was played, somebody objected to at Universal or CBS or...
Do you think it's AI?
Well, algorithms are looking to spot usage. And my reply is always the same. It's like, this was a radio show on a commercial radio station 14 years ago. It was ASCAP, it was BMI, we had it.
So why don't you put a little statement like that saying we have...
On every episode,
I don't know.
I should.
You have to figure out what you can do to...
So, and the way to skirt that now is for years we haven't even been playing any music. Virtual or 20 seconds of this and 10 seconds of that. I do sing. As a matter of fact, speaking of semi-singing or half-singing, one of the things we're going to have on this very program is our beloved Rabbi Sol Solomon. He's going to be very busy today because, he will be interviewing our very special guest, a playwright and director, very prolific over the years. His name is William Missouri Downs.
Is that his real name? Missouri?
He's taken, I think he's going to talk about that actually, but he took a name that wasn't quite, sort of, and morphed his name around, but it's a cool name. William Missouri Downs.
It sounds like a racetrack, right? Missouri Downs, like...
Well, Kentucky Downs, yeah.
Why is he posing with this monkey? Is this Punch?
No, that was taken probably a few years ago. It was a great shot. If you go on Facebook and you look for our picture of William Missouri Downs, you'll see him posing with literally...
He looks like John Schneider.
I don't think he ever did drugs, but he does have a monkey on his back.
Yeah.
And he's a good-looking guy. But his wife has written and is performing a play that she is doing at the Denver Fringe this coming week. He's directing it. So he's going to talk about his wife's play, his wife, his life, his plays, his screenplays. He's also written textbooks about playwriting and screenwriting.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty well known. He hasn't had a New York career. That's the really cool thing. He's had a career everywhere else.
West Coast?
West Coast, all around the world, his plays have been done. So it's pretty cool. And he's written for TV too. He wrote for, I think, Amen, the Sherman Hemsley TV show, and a couple of sitcoms like that. So he's got experiences to talk about with Rabbi Sol Solomon. So Sol will be doing that interview. Sol is also going to be doing Storytime today, which will be Miriam and her dancing shoes. Who better to talk about a Jewish book and Rabbi Sol Solomon? A little post-Shavuos for this, but yeah, Rabbi Sol doing this. And then my wife and I were kind of, mostly her, was fooling around with the computer and her phone and AI, and decided to pop in what would it be like if Rabbi Sol Solomon, that the computer knew nothing about, would write a rabbinical comic rap number. And that was the prompt, right? I didn't write any of this. My wife didn't write any of it. But she was like, hey, let's just throw this in and see what comes out. So Rabbi Sol is going to read / semi-perform the completely digitally, artificially intelligently created rap number for a Jewish rabbi, kind of almost a Haredi-like rabbi. And we'll see how AI does, because one of the things that William Missouri Downs is going to be talking about, he has a Substack blog that he writes. And he wrote a brilliant...
What means Substack?
Oh, it's a place, a blog.
Well, what is Substack?
It's like Substack.com. That's what they named it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's like WordPress. Yeah.
Okay.
So he has a...
Reddit or something, right?
Exactly. He has a Substack place where you read his essay writing. And he just wrote a brilliant essay about, will AI replace playwriting? Which seemed insane 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and now it almost seems inevitable. That's one of the amazing things about it. So he's going to talk with Rabbi Sol all about artificial intelligence and what it can do. And we just found out. I mean, we're finding out all the time when we're putting stuff in AI and being like, oh, it wrote a song and the song's actually amusing, and what the hell, And if AI is here...
What's today's date?
May 30th. And if AI is here right now, give it another year, it'll be here, it'll be here, it'll be here.
Eye candy.
Is that a yard sale? It starts at 8, I don't know until when. But that's beautiful. We can get some furniture.
It starts at 8, but I don't know.
Our luck, it'll end at like 12:30. But...
Our luck, it'll end at 10.
So...
I'm going to go see if I can learn more about that for you.
So three items on Rabbi Sol's agenda today. He'll be AI rapping. He will be reading an actual book written by an actual... Let's make sure this was written by an actual human being, if it's old enough. This is... when was this? 2025. So for all we know, Miriam could have been dreamed up by ChatGPT, but I doubt it. And there's an author's name on it, Sandy Eisenberg Sasso, with illustrations by Joey Rothenberg. We'll go with it, and Rabbi Sol will read some real writing and some AI writing on the program. Also, speaking of reality, we'll go with Greeley, because the Greeley Times segment... Oh, please. The Greeley Times segment that we do every week is based on ridiculous phone calls that come into the Greeley, Colorado Police Department as compiled and collated by Andrea Grajeda at the Greeley Tribune newspaper. Now, I'm getting a little mad.
Did you hear that?
What?
I heard like scraping.
Oh, there's a guy doing stuff outside over there. Andrea Grajeda. Now, I'm a little mad because it's been about 3 weeks since she's posted a new Greeley cop log on Greeley Times. So it's So I'm getting, we're getting down, as I like to say, to the Betty Harpers of our Greeley cop log
Your stuff on it.
items. But to make up for it, we do have elsewhere items in our Greeley Times segment,
Your driveway.
which come from all over the world, all over the country, all over the world. They're just ridiculous, crazy news stories that aren't necessarily from Colorado, but they're funny and ridiculous. We share them with you too. And speaking of Colorado, speaking of, well, that beautiful, gorgeous state that we used to live in for over a decade, Greeley and elsewhere are places that rhyme with other things. Towns, cities, little ghost towns, hickburgs, places that are, what do they call, designated areas. What?
We could drive there. It's 13 minutes away.
Oh, we'll do it. We'll do it. So I've written a poem about as many of these places as I possibly can. I don't know why. I just started doing it a decade ago. Sometimes it was just, I was either had writer's block or was lazy and had nothing to bring into my library writers group that would meet every month. And so sometimes I just bring in like a dozen poems and I'm going to share these with you. And they're awful, they're tasteless, they're horrific, which is the intent. They're limericks, Colorado limericks of the damned. And we have a brand new one for Concrete, Colorado, or Concrete, Colorado. Nothing abstract about that. So all of these things are going to be happening on this episode of The Dave's Gone By, Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream. So how you doing, babe?
I wonder if the black plate special is like some kind of turkey. What does that look like? A turkey? Or
Mission Barbecue would have
I
changed.
don't know. It looks like a chicken.
Don't tell me that.
Firebirds?
Was it wings? Mission Barbecue has a black plate special that they change up
That's mac and cheese.
every 6 to 8 weeks. And they haven't had like a good meat one in months.
Can I ask your phone by asking?
Please ask my phone. This is important.
Okay. What is the current black plate special at Mission Barbecue? It says Hickory Smoked Ham, but...
Still, I thought they
some
changed
kind
it
of
after
legs. Ricky Bobby chicken legs. What is Ricky Bobby? Southern style Ricky Bobby chicken legs.
I think he's a comic character in,
Oh.
I forget the guy's
It
name.
says
Yeah.
homemade breading and batter.
It's probably delish if I wanted legs.
Yeah.
Well, you're showing me broccoli salad.
You just gotta go, press the first button.
Broccoli salad.
Press the first button.
Ricky Bobby chicken legs. Crispy shake and bake chicken with our top secret homemade bread. It's right
try
there.
chicken. Remember you said you wanted to try?
I might try there. I'm sure, if I have wings or legs, I like even more than wings, so maybe.
Banana pudding.
I mean, banana pudding.
Potato.
Ooh, what? No. What? Potato salad is also on the menu at Mission Barbecue. Potato what?
I know.
Oh, sometimes I could just kill a man. This, of course, is Potato. He joins us pretty much every week here in the Daverhood on Dave's. Here we go. Potato what? Shh. We give him the ketchup to eat. This calms him down.
He still thinks there's a ketchup fountain.
Oh, now speaking.
He wants the ketchup fountain of youth.
Don't we all?
Oh yes, show him the Mecca.
Speaking of feeding, what?
Mecca.
Of where is that? Oh, yeah. That's
That
on
was
your phone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just be careful. Okay, I don't lose the. I have the map. Wait, let me.
So I was driving, trying to go somewhere, and made a wrong turn and went to the parking lot.
No, you didn't make a wrong turn. Hold on.
Yeah, I was going to go one way, and I thought it would go to a street, but it ended up being the parking lot.
There, David. So I'm saving the map.
Great.
You want that.
Yeah. I wanted to make a turn, and I went into the parking lot of a giant supermarket rather than the next street. And I was like, oh, damn, I got to go and turn around. And I was pissed off about it, except I saw this truck.
Oh, I actually drove almost into it, so I think it was.
Well, it was this. See, on here it kind of looks like an apple, but it's not.
Oh, it's not.
That is, here, Potato, take a look.
But it's life size, David.
That's the hilarious thing. There's this enormous frickin' truck, And, oh my God. Oh, yeah. What are you doing, Potato? He said, oh, yeah. Yeah, baby. Stop it, Potato. Ugh. Oh.
He likes the potato.
Yeah, he was getting a little too close and friendly, if you
Oh,
will.
and that would be where the ketchup fountain comes from.
Like a giant tomato on a truck. It was kind of like, I wasn't supposed to drive down that street, but God, if there is a God, God meant for me to see the side of that truck with an enormous tomato on the side of it.
That's
So,
great.
sometimes, as they say, there's God in the least expected times. You know, did I find $10,000 lying on the street to pick up? No, that did not happen.
That is great.
Did I meet a great Broadway producer on the street who said, "Oh, let me see your shit"?
No, but
No.
for potatoes, that's like their, that is their highest.
And there were
It's
potatoes in the
life
car.
size, so yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was also a psychotic squirrel in the car, but.
Well, we still have that. Anywho, so that happened this week, but we have a couple of other things to talk about before we get to the show Improperly Proper. Two other amazing things to talk about this week. Nature at its absolutely most adorable / spectacular. So, for a long, long time, there's been a tree outside our window, like on the side of our house. Small tree. And there's been a nest in there. Nest in the tree. And we're coming out of the side of our house and hearing little beep, beep, chirping. And we... Thank you. And we look up.
There's only two. I don't know. Wait, I can give you something for.
Oh, they're very, very small, though. We can.
Here, take this. This is the third one. This is Ethel.
Oh, so no, we don't have a chicken in our tree, but
I had a nest somewhere.
we look up and we see the bottom of the nest,
Yeah.
and there's some activity, and we realize it's a robin's nest, and there's one or two robins in it, which means they're going to be young. There's going to be like little baby birds in the nest, which is already adorable.
Yeah.
So we're looking up at this thing, and it occurs to me, wait a minute, this tree, it's on the side of our house, it's growing literally right up alongside our upstairs bedroom window, our main bedroom. So I run up the stairs, open the window, open the
They
shade.
did that purposely so they could see us and weren't lonely?
Oh, maybe.
I think so.
Or maybe they got lonely. They wanted to be
Yeah, I think so.
with humans. Also, it's a very great place to have a tree and a nest because it's got two houses.
It's protected from everything.
Yeah, so wind and on two sides at least, they're ballasted from a lot of rain and wind.
Heck yeah.
So, well, I come
And
up, I
probably
open.
predators mostly for them too. Like there's no other tree where squirrels could jump from. Like
True.
if they were in a series of trees, the squirrels could jump. Or like it's a lone tree that gives them.
It gives them a little more
privacy.
Yeah.
Privacy.
And they were running cable up there, and they were. Oh, yeah, totally. They were getting wired for Wi-Fi, and. But I open the shade of the window and the curtains, and I look, and at eye level, literally at eye level, I'm looking at the nest,
Yes.
and from the top down of the nest, and there's careful, 3 birds, baby robins. Why not leave it for after the show? 3 baby robins in the nest, and you can tell because they're all they're fuzzy.
Yeah.
They're molting. They're in that process, so they're literally a week old. We didn't see them when we were quite newborns. It never occurred to me to look, but now I'm like, oh my God! Almost like baby birds. These 3 little robins, and the mama, or maybe the dad, flying back and forth and back, checking on them. Every time I come to the window, the robin kind of pops in and takes a look and makes sure that there's nothing, attacking predatorily the children. And then, and this is so me. This is just so life. Right? One time, Robin comes. And I'm thinking, oh, she's feeding them. Because sometimes he's bringing
yes.
branches for the nest, and sometimes bringing food. I never saw it with a worm, but there's stuff they bring to feed. And then the mama goes, and the baby goes, and the mama
Yes, that was disgusting.
reaches down, and suddenly I see a white blob hanging from the mama's mouth. And the mama kind of flies away. I'm like, what? And this reminded me, I should have started with this, that the reason it wasn't just that the peeping of the birds in the nest. There was, when we drove up in our driveway, coming home from shopping, there was this white thing on our driveway. And I thought, oh, it's a shell, it's an eggshell. There was a nest up there, and we knew the nest had been there forever. And we looked at it, and it was like, we came closer, and oh, that's not a nest. That's white, like bird shit, right? Well, we looked it up, and what I saw the mama do was not feeding the birds.
She fed them, but after they feed, they.
Yeah. So the baby bird excreted, and rather than quote unquote foul the nest, what the mama robin does is grab the excrement in her mouth.
It's in a sack.
Yes. Well, thank goodness.
It's not. Come on.
Yeah. Well, no. Even when Borat went into the family with his own excrement, he didn't have it in his hand. He kept it in a bag. But yeah, it's like a sack of white bird shit that apparently the mama robin just carries away and drops either on our driveway or elsewhere on someone's lawn. And then the process starts. So the mama feeds. So there's the cute thing of mama feeding the birds. And then the other thing, and I saw her do this a couple of times, is carrying baby bird shit away in her mouth. Hanging from her mouth. Isn't nature wonderful? It's another reason it's good to be human, because human mommies don't have to do that.
You have to wipe it from the baby.
Gotta wipe it, gotta use gloves, gotta use baby powder and what's that other, lanolin, something to clean the tuchus and then wash really well. But, the one thing that mommies don't have to do is grab the excrement out of their children's assholes and somehow bring it to the garbage disposal on the 8th floor. No, we've evolved past the birds, even though we can't fly per se.
Yeah.
Well, at least we've moved past the birds. And so anyway, this is about 4 or 5 days ago, and I'm watching the birds, and every opportunity I get, I run into the bedroom, look out the window. What are the birds doing? And they're peep, peep, peep. The mom is flying back, and they're doing their thing. And from literally the first day I saw them to the next day, already, like, the molting process had gone further.
Yeah.
They were starting to fluff their wings a lot.
Yes.
And there were 3 of them. We nicknamed them Ethel, Irving, and Ira. Basically, Ethel Merman.
I don't know why the Ethel was Ethel.
And well, because she was the big one, like Ma. She was the Ethel Merman of the trio. Ira Gershwin and now I've forgotten the other one. There was another composer. Irving Berlin. So, and poor Irving, that seemed to be the bird, because a nest is a small thing for 3 robins to be in. That's kind of the point. They're all snuggled together for warmth.
Yes.
But as they grow, it becomes a little more and more, forcing them to get out of the nest and learn to fly, because they're going to get,
They can't fit in the nest.
yeah, it won't expand.
But it did say the nest is mud, so it does expand a little.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
A little bit.
But what happens is when one of them starts to want to work its feathers out, it's got to stand on the other 2.
Ethel Merman.
So Ethel's always like standing on Irving and like looking out and right. So that's really fun to watch. But by the next day, it's like, wait a minute, these basically look like grown young birds. It's like we missed the first week of their existence, alas. And there's no, robin's eggs are supposed to be like this beautiful blue, like Joan Baez sang about Bob Dylan's eyes. It's supposed to be like this powder blue color. Don't see those, didn't see any of that on the driveway or anything.
The thing is that robins, only 1 in 4 babies live, but we didn't see any dead babies.
All of I.
One time when we lived here, I did see one without hair, It must have fallen from the nest
Oh,
and
it
it's
did.
dead. It was just a little, like, with no hair. It was probably a small robin. And it was sad, but I guess it fell from
It
the
fell.
nest before, it could fly.
It either got clumsy and tripped or tried to fly and
Yeah,
didn't.
I
It was
didn't
probably too
realize
young
that.
to fly, but
How
these
would
guys flew
how do
away.
they know not to fly? How do they know?
How does a baby know when to walk?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I mean, a baby will stumble, and then, I'm walking. Oh, shit. Sorry, I dropped my wife's phone.
No, it's your phone.
Oh, I dropped my phone. Here we go.
For potato.
The big Idaho potato truck.
Potato's wearing a bow tie around his waist, so I guess it's formal.
Well, he doesn't really have a neck. What? I'm sorry, but you don't have a look. Potato. Here's the potato with the bow tie.
David, he dressed up for your show.
Well, thank you. Ooh. Yeah. See, he says, I can pull it down here. There we go. Now he's formal. Look at that. I was going to tie one on. Daddy, how come I'm naked? No, you're not naked, potato. You have a hat. And a bow.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
and you. So that was our bird adventure. And yes, by the fourth day, I looked out the window. Speaking of Bob Dylan, look out the window and they were gone.
And look.
Right? Whee! Well, that is not our net. That's just a random nest that's on our Facebook feed. But, yeah, like this, or to quote John Lennon, this bird had flown. All the birds had flown. Nests were still there.
I wonder if they'll ever come back. Do you think? Do you think the babies come back and have their kids? I don't know.
Well, it's a waste of a nest if nobody reuses it, and robins do tend to. If there's a nest built, why should they go? Right? It's like, oh, look here. And it's got hot and cold running water. It doesn't have central air. Well, it does have central air because there's always a breeze. So, yeah, it's likely maybe not this season, but next year maybe one of the children will come back. Maybe Mama and Papa will have another brood. It's early. It's not even summer yet. So I'm hoping, but that was one of the absolute highlights of the week to be able to see. So, we're talking about from our bedroom window, with my eyes literally pressed against the window and peeling them off was painful,
They were
to
so cute.
6
They
feet
were
away.
Cute. They were very cute.
I was just absolutely in awe and delighted. And I'm delighted.
They were your friends.
I didn't make close friends. There's a thing. I'm 62 years old. I'm really not supposed to hang around with children. It looks bad. The police get
They're
involved.
birds, honey. They're birds.
Well, there's a joke in there. There's a joke in there somewhere. But it's a joke that I would make if I could think of it. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. This is Dave's Gone By. It's like sampling a rap number now. Yeah. Our 1034th episode of the show live on May 30th, 2026. We're calling this episode, yes, this is my sense of humor, because our guest is William Missouri Downs, the director and playwright. This episode is called Downs Syndrome. Send your letters to davesgoneby@aol.com, davesgoneby@aol.com, or just post them right here on our Facebook page, either under one of our shows, you can post there, or message me directly if you are on Facebook. Anyway, also, as I mentioned on the program, we have Storytime with Rabbi Sol. Rabbi Sol interviewing William Missouri Downs. Rabbi Sol talking about AI and a rap number written for him by AI. Greeley Times coming up, and our Colorado Limerick of the Damned for Concrete. So, let me tell the other story. Thank you very much. The other story that happened to, this is so me.
What?
If you know me, if you watch The Miracle of Long John's, either on YouTube or you went to see it live in the theater.
Did you have an accident?
Oh, no, not that kind of thing. Just like early in the show, my one-man show that I did, I explained how I always managed to say and this has been a curse all my life. I say the wrong thing at the wrong time to the wrong person. I generally don't mean harm, but my sense of humor, my mouth, whatever, my anger.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Where is it?
Yeah. It is my lot in life to have my mouth open saying something at the exact time I should not be saying it. So first, I'll start this with our Forest Hills story from last year or a year or two ago.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to tell that part?
No,
So I'll tell the new one?
It's too traumatic.
Something dramatic about it. But we were clomping around Forest Hills because we have family stuff to deal with, and we were just taking a day out to go shop and eat and spazier around Forest Hills. And one of the things that was happening as part of sort of the gentrification there is a lot of Asian restaurants and little Asian nooks and crannies with this big surge in places that are selling dumplings, right? And there was even a food truck selling dumplings. And my wife was like, well, wow, are you still hungry? Maybe do you want? And me, the way I talk, the way I'm like, I turn into a child 90% of the time. I'm like, oh, dumpering, me want dumpering, in my most, faux Asian, well, Japanese or Chinese, this mishmash, Korean somewhere also. But just being like, saying cute, oh, me want dumpering. What are the odds that while I was saying this, just talking to my wife, that we would be passing by, we're standing on the corner where a woman and her daughter, her young daughter, were waiting for the light. And I know it's New York, it's a melting pot. What are the odds that that woman is Asian and that her daughter is Asian too? Oh, I would say in my case, 100%. So, and what was you said the mother was talking about some kind of medical thing, or what was
the girl was begging her mother for a Claritin. She has a good allergy.
So I without even, again, I'm not even recognizing them. I'm not registering these people. And I'm saying, oh, dumpering, me want dumpering. Apparently, did they look at me?
Yes.
Suddenly this Chinese or Japanese mom and her little daughter, a girl had to be like 7 years old, are looking up at me while I'm going, me want dumpering. And immediately what I was trying to do that was cute and say, oh, I would love, I'm hungry, I would love a dumpling, and to also be harmlessly racist, it almost turned into a hate crime just because it's me. So that happened about a year and a half ago in New York in Forest Hills. This happened much closer to home. And I sort of blame you. This one I can almost blame on you. Not quite, but almost blame on my wife because she was talking about stuff in society and work and all of this, and was saying that to get ahead in days like today and to deal with management and coworkers and this and that, so you can't just be...
Oh.
Do you want to tell? Because it's partly your story too. But to sometimes, and this is her words, I never knew you had such a foul mouth. But sometimes you just gotta pull your dick out and wave it around. I was like a little bit shocked, but it's like, but that's what she is. She's like, in other words, you can't be a wallflower. You have to stand up for yourself. Or if you see something wrong or that you find embarrassing for someone else, and so when that's going on, sometimes you gotta be, not just shy away from this, but say, hey, I'm not going to tolerate this. This is not right. Gotta pull your dick out of your pants, or it was pull your dick out of your underpants. No, I gotta get this right because everything follows from this. You gotta pull your dick. No, you were like pulling your dick out of your pants and wave it around. And you said, we're walking around the street, you're telling me. We're not walking along the street, we're shopping. We're going into the mall that we always go to every weekend and the big store there. And we're coming towards the store. And she says this. And me being me, I'm like, oh, hun, that is politically incorrect now because of gender things. And now you might as well also say sometimes you have to pull your dick out of your panties. Fine. Right. Making a little joke about how everything's, transgender and gender fluid. So just trying to say, hey, it's not necessarily pants anymore. Someone with, panties on could have a dick now. So I say this, sometimes you got to pull your dick out of your panties. What are the odds, ladies and gentlemen, what are the odds that when I say this, remember, she's like, her line is done with. My line, who is crossing to go into the store, right? Now, no, not a transgender person, but close. A man wearing a kilt. How many people, and it's not St. Patrick's Day, all right? We're at the end of May. How many human beings do you see walking around on a daily basis who are dressed regularly in a shirt and kilt? So, of course, as I'm saying, somebody's got to take her dick out and wave it around, dick out of your panties and wave it around. A guy with a kilt is crossing in front of me. I don't think he heard me. He didn't actually look towards me, so I think I was far enough away that he wouldn't have taken offense. Well, he wouldn't take him, but I mean, what are the odds that I would make this particular statement and joke at the very moment when someone who might potentially actually be offended by it is crossing away. This is why God should have birthed me with my mouth sewn shut. My life, I would be so rich. I'd be so famous. I would have every job, kept every job. I mean, if only. And I think God's revenge or the world's revenge is at some point I'll probably have a stroke and go mute. And then everybody that I ever said something to, that I didn't even remember saying something to, will be like, gotcha. It's like when a parent tells her child, don't make that funny face, her face will freeze like that. And it'll be like that forever. And it's like, it's coming. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. But that's me. I'm Dave. That's my life. That is how it goes for me again and again and again. But anywho, you're watching Dave's Gone By. So is there any other stuff that happened this week that we really need to or should talk? I mean, those were the two big items, the birds and the peckers, if you will. Yeah, I think we've caught them. Let's do, before we get to Greeley Times, speaking of big bulbous objects, something more bulbous than my dick, alas, is dum 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 dum. Oh, let's play the music, because I don't think we've done this in a week or two or three. Hold on. Let's look at my bunions. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the song Corns and Bunions by New Orleans Willie Jackson, as I show you the size, shape, and condition of the right and left foot bunions on my feet, which are rather prominent and make it rather difficult to find shoes. We were just talking about this with you looking for a pair of shoes also, of like some size. I can't just order shoes on the interwebs because sometimes I'm a size 7. Mostly I'm a size 7.5. Mostly now I have to wear an 8 because I would be 7.5, except this giant bulbous bunion bulb is on the side of my foot. And maybe as I grow older, everything else on me will shrink, and I'll need
I think many people
9s.
have, I watched somebody yesterday who had sandals, okay, and it was not pretty. Oh my God, I got a little, you don't have to paint your toenails, but at least, I don't know. I have closed shoes under my desk in case you always have to have a pair, but oh God, yeah.
Well, close shoes. Well, you have an issue sometimes with the your paint. What do you call the nail polish wearing off or getting scraped off?
Yeah.
So if you need to, you always keep a pair of closed shoes.
I think it's important.
But I still do not understand how people, and you in particular, wear these shoes that they're flat and they have a thing between your big toe. Oh, how do you? I've tried. I find that the most uncomfortable thing. Because it goes right between the big toe. Women's sandals, men's sandals, togs, swimming togs. Never could get how people could tolerate these things. And also the fact that you're clopping around, your feet are exposed. So any little piece of glass can come up there. If there's a bee and you're walking on the lawn or something, there's a bee. Oh, there's a foot. I can sting that as opposed to a shoe. Yeah, I remember that too. So I'm sorry. I hated shoes when I was growing up because they were heavy and clunky, and I had special shoes because of my bunions. And I was mocked at several of the jobs I worked because as soon as I come in, off went the shoes. I was the shoeless guy. I go to the theater and I settle down. I get my playbill. I go to this, and then as soon as the lights went off went my shoes because I want to be comfortable, right? And even in these later years, 20, 30 years, I've been wearing Velcro sneakers and Velcro shoes and things that are perfectly comfortable. But I still, what's more comfortable, wearing shoes or not? I'm going with not. So you would figure sandals would be even more comfortable than having a shoe around my foot, but they're not. They're just not. I don't understand the whole sandal thing. When did you realize that you liked having your foot free like that?
Always.
Yeah, even as a kid, even forever.
Yeah, I had to wear corrective shoes, but I like free feet.
How do you keep it on your foot? How do you keep the back of the thing from that flappy?
Why don't you try wearing it?
I have.
Yeah.
I have just a slippy slappy. I can't.
You try them today.
Oh, I'm not going to try them today.
We'll go to Jim Caruso's listening party with it.
Oh, Jim Caruso's cast party every Monday night at Birdland.
It's in your feed.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, okay. We've stalled enough. I think it's time for some crime. It's crime time, ladies and gentlemen. Greeley Times. So this is based on an actual column in the Greeley Tribune newspaper in northern Colorado. People call the police department wanting help in their neighborhood. There's something problematic. And sometimes the calls are pretty ridiculous. The funniest ones go in the paper. The funniest of the funniest go into this segment. We have a caller. Hello. Oh, okay. A caller going through a divorce.
Wait here, hold on.
Oh, do you have a divorce noise?
No, I have something even more fun. Hold on. When we were cleaning, I found.
Oh, do you need the giant telephone?
Don't ruin it.
Oh, sorry. That's why I can literally see it from here. Oh boy.
Careful.
Yeah. Wow. The sad thing about this always reminds me of the World Trade Center.
It reminds me of like an 80s Matlock or something.
Oh.
Or like one of those law shows,
Yellow.
Or Columbo, like a car phone.
Yeah, exactly. Like back in the day. Oh, all right. Oh, so I'm glad she called back. A caller going through a divorce said his soon-to-be ex-wife locked the door to their home, but he still had a key and was able to jump the fence and get in. All righty. An officer suggested the caller work it out with his soon-to-be ex-wife. That's how you get shot, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I think you have to do that. Like if you're going through a divorce or something,
Yeah.
and then it's like there's property. You can't just go in. Like there's all sorts of rules.
Even if you have a kid, but if suddenly they're locking the fence on you, yeah.
That's not-
Now, hon,
Uh-oh.
get ready to make some noise.
Why didn't I think Anyone want to buy a broken barometer? No pressure.
I'm so glad you gave me this. Look, guess what?
Oh, wait, hold on here.
Sometimes on Greeley Times we have
Do you want
alerts.
some of their babies?
They'll get lost on here. This is all right
You
here.
hold the babies and give it back.
Oh, look. Oh, exactly. This is a chicken alert, which means that our next item is a phone call that has something to do with chickens. Because that was one of the things that first attracted me to this column, is that all these calls come into a police department about chickens. This is Colorado. Chicken alert! A chicken was stuck in a wooden fence
Oh no.
between 2 yards.
Oh, that's horrible.
However, officers were able to set the chicken free. Happy ending!
They never give an ending.
Boy, I know, right? Usually they just say officers responded. They set the chicken free. Born free as the wind blows. Oh, we have another call. Wow. I'm going to grab it on the poo phone. Yeah, wait. I'm going to imitate the Mama Robin. Look. A woman reported a noise complaint when she asked her neighbors to stop being so loud. They slammed the door in her face. And what else? Oh, she told police she's pregnant and needs her rest. You get that? Get the feeling that kid's going to be raised to be Dennis the Menace? Like, yeah, go ask the neighbors for...
Say, the officer wasn't me.
So now because we don't have a lot of Greeley Times at the moment, because Andrea's fallen down on the job. She's reporting too much real crime for the Greeley Tribune and hasn't updated cop log. But we have so many elsewheres. We have a wonderful glut of elsewheres. So our first elsewhere, and I'll get that on the trombone phone, hello, comes from Gothenburg, Sweden, as reported by the Shepherd Express.
I was there.
Now, and this is perfect timing because we're going to be talking a lot about artificial intelligence on this episode of the show. So this is more fun with AI. It all started as an experiment. Almira Osmanovic Thunstrom,
Oh, wow.
a medical researcher at the University of Gothenburg, wanted to test language learning models by feeding them obvious medical misinformation.
Oh, wow.
So, Thunstrom invented an eye disease
Oh, God.
called bixonomania,
Ugh.
and he uploaded a couple of fake studies to the server.
Oh.
Now, a human reader with a medical background would know that there's no eye condition that would even use the psychiatric term mania, because it's an eye thing. Mania, you wouldn't have
Oh, okay.
an eye mania thing. And beyond that, the fake paper, the fake research studies that he uploaded, acknowledged, among others, Professor Maria Bohm at the Starfleet Academy.
Wait, so we have that, wait.
And her lab, which was on board the USS Enterprise.
Wow.
The other paper credits the Professor Sideshow Bob Foundation. This is so science nerdy. And a funding initiative from the University of Fellowship of the Ring and the Galactic Triad. So, I will ask you, you're going to know the answer before I even ask this. But I will ask you, darling and adorable wife, Do you think Gemini and ChatGPT spotted the fraud?
No.
Oh, no, siree.
What happened?
They did not.
No.
Said Microsoft Copilot, quote,
Yes.
Bixonomania is indeed an intriguing and relatively rare condition. Relatively rare condition. Google Gemini chimed in that Bixomania, I've got to do this, it's Bixonomania, excuse me, is a condition caused by excessive exposure to blue light.
Whoa.
So, the Swedish experiment
I
itself,
have it.
do you, yeah? Well, no wonder you get the blues. Oh.
Anyone want to buy a broken barometer? No pressure.
So this Swedish experiment shows the danger, obviously, of relying on large language models, or LLMs. Said one researcher, quote, if the scientific process and the systems that support that process are skilled, but they're not filtering out chunks like these, and I quote, we're doomed, unquote. We're doomed, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, I've got this Bixonomania thing in my eye. Can we filter out maybe the blue light in the room a little
We
bit?
could. Oh, yeah.
Anywho.
I think little Kira has some Kentucky Fried Chicken for you.
Blue light. Ba-da-da-dee-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh. I've drummed up a new phone call. Yeah. This comes much closer, well, semi-closer to home, where we used to have home. The New York Post.
Here.
Oh, show me. The eyes have it.
It's a blue light.
Oh, it's only blue eyes. There we go.
I got one.
This was a headline in the New York Post about a week ago. Foreskin reconstruction is dividing penis doctors. Inside the promises and the pitfalls. First of all, there are penis doctors? Yeah. And it's funny because remember that time I saw a scrotum doctor? And I said, oh, you're a scrotum doctor, aren't you? And he said, no, I'm a penis doctor. I thought he was nuts. So this is the story in the New York Post. Every so often, Dr. Lawrence Levine, Jewish, fields a phone call from a circumcised man, desperate to restore his penis to its original glory. Levine, a board-certified urologic surgeon in Chicago, says that he does, quote, a fair amount of penile cosmetic surgery, but he will not replace circumcised foreskins. He said, quote, a man should be happy with the appearance of their penis. First of all, no white man is happy with it. But Levine says that he has not seen a repair technique that really works. Not to mention, men's expectations of the before and after difference are way out of line with the actual results. For example, he can't turn a Kia Soul into a Jeep Wagoner. I wrote that. Anywho, nevertheless, there is a growing group of doctors who call themselves restorers. It's the men. It's men who want their full sensation back. One 30-year-old California dude paid $25,000 for the 2-hour surgery, and he gained 17 millimeters of foreskin back. Like, how much is this? Yeah. And he cried with happiness after sex because he was so thrilled with the results. By the way, I always cry with happiness after sex because I think, holy shit, I'm an ugly Jew and I'm getting sex. But no, he was feeling what he hadn't felt in, maybe forever, in ages. Still, however, board-certified Dr. Fenwa Milhouse, that's what happened to Bart's friend, pointed out that even in surgery, the foreskin is not actually being restored. What's gone is gone, said Dr. Milhouse, the founder of Down There Urology. She says, Look, the prepuce covers the head, and it's just not the same as the shaft skin. I wonder if there's a prepuce, if after surgery, do men have a post-puce? And by the way, there's also, honest to God, there is DIY foreskin renewal. Men will use appliances to gently stretch the skin of the shaft further and further up until it covers the head of the dick. Milhouse warns, first of all, this process takes weeks. It has a lot of potential side effects, and it still doesn't really do the job. She said one guy did it. He just pulled, but the skin was so loose, she still had to tighten it up to make it look natural. So guys, Jews in particular, but everybody, is, work with what you got. You don't need the wrapper to enjoy the candy bar, if you know what I'm saying, and I'm sure you don't. Anywho, that's one of our elsewheres. Let's go somewhere else from elsewhere. Hey, yeah. Let's go to Arizona, as reported by People magazine. More bees. Meanwhile, why did I say more? I think I moved some things around. There was a story about bees last week, or about somebody setting free bees to avoid policemen. So this is another story about bees. In Arizona, 2 men were attacked by what sheriff's deputies called a moving black cloud of hundreds of thousands of angry bees. The men were completely covered head to toe in bees. Even firefighters wearing protective gear were stung on their heads. No ambulances were available, so the men got a ride to the hospital in the fire truck while firefighters picked the bees off of them. Officials suspect the bees were part of a migrating swarm. And both men, amazingly enough, they're okay. So it wasn't one of these my girl situations. But everybody's complaining, oh my God, the bees are dying out. The world's going to die because there's no pollinators. There's nothing. Like, if there's one swarm that contains hundreds of thousands of bees, there's going to be still several billion bees in the world doing their thing. And if not, God, how about, replacing them with fireflies? Or something that doesn't, or butterflies. Something that doesn't sting and does the same job. What would it kill you, eh? Anywho. For our next elsewhere, we're going, speaking of dumping, to South Korea. Also reported by the Shepherd Express. Sorry, I gotta get my throat clear here. Should you spend the next 5 years in prison for drawing a picture of a wolf? What do you think?
No.
Well, one 40-year-old idiot just might. When he heard that a wolf had escaped from the local zoo, he used AI to generate images of the wolf roaming various parts of the town.
That's scary.
The pictures went viral, and they panicked everyone. Schools closed, stores closed. Everyone was afraid of the wild wolf. Turns out they eventually found the animal, but they're pressing charges against now this artist for delaying the story, because they were looking for him in all these places that he drew the wolf, or AI drew the wolf roaming.
Also, wouldn't it be like fire in a theater?
Exactly.
Scary. Like
Yeah.
a wolf can eat the pets. It could hurt the kids. It could hurt your son. Like,
So he created a panic by doing this AI thing of
Why didn't he just
he's
say-
on Main Street. Yeah.
oh, I see.
Yeah. So this is why he could literally get 5 years in prison for posting drawings of a wolf. Amazing. By the way, it's 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. You're watching the 1034th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the Stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife, and all of you watching at home. We have William Missouri Downs coming up talking to Rabbi Sol Solomon. Rabbi Sol will be reading Storytime with a book about Miriam. I think it might be still a Passover book, but since it was just Shavuos not too long ago, we're going to go with it. And then also Rabbi Sol has an AI number concocted for him by, AI. And what else? Oh, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we will be going to Concrete, Colorado. But let's do a couple more of our elsewheres on Greeley Times. Ooh. Drum alert. We go all the way, again speaking of dumping, to China. This was reported by Oddity Central and, of course, picked up by the Shepherd Express. It really is the end of the world as we know it. Young people in China have a growing trend. And look what's coming up again. They're creating AI versions of their former boyfriends and girlfriends.
Oh, no.
Users can feed the open source model X skills things like photos and social media posts along with descriptions of these people's exes. So then the jilted lovers can then talk to their former partners in AI form.
Oh, goodness.
The partners then mimic the tone and style of the real people.
Wow.
And this supposedly brings closure.
Oh, like if the...
Yeah. It was like the classic Sam Kinison moment when this guy calls up his ex-girl, or literally in front of 1,000 people at Radio City. It wasn't Radio City. It was Westbury Music Fair, back when they still called it Westbury Music Fair. And Sam Kinison closed his show by having just a random guy in the audience call up his ex and get her on the phone just so Kinison could scream the worst, nastiest invectives at her, and everyone in the audience just cheering for him, as she hangs up. So now you can do that with your actual ex, except it's an AI version of your ex. Where we are going...
It's probably healthier than harassing the person.
Yes, it is.
So that's good. And if somebody needs closure, they could do it, but it's better than harassing.
I mean, how would you feel as a person involved in gerontology with an 88-year-old woman being able to conjure up her husband from 5 years earlier and talk to him?
They've done that with Paula Abdul dancing with
Sinatra in hologram form. I get it.
Yeah, so that's been done.
But it's now going to be on. It won't just be a thing that you go to Vegas for a special thing. It's like, ooh, let me conjure up Grandpa.
It's that things are progressing.
I don't know. I don't even know how I feel about this. But it's again, we're just at the very, very, very beginning of all these things that are happening. Anywho, let's go away from China down to Texas, a town called Grapevine, Texas. Well, I heard it through the grapevine. Entrepreneur of the week this week, my friends, albeit in a cheesy way, is Keyshawn Jones. He was fired from his job at Chick-fil-A, and about a month later began a scheme of returning to the restaurant, hopping behind the counter.
What?
And what he would do is he would ring up fake orders of mac and cheese. Then he would refund the orders to his own credit card. This guy's wasted. He should be working for the Treasury.
I don't think you can do that.
Well, no, you can't.
Oh,
The restaurant owner reported the thefts. More than 800 fake orders worth about $80,000, which is, I guess it's $10 for mac and cheese.
Why would they constantly do it for mac and cheese, though? That's a mistake.
Yeah, why won't you do... Well, I guess you can't really quantify...
Change it for different products, right?
Yeah, well, that too. I don't know, I guess they count chicken wings more than they would just
Oh, because it's just
noodles.
noodles. Huh?
Yeah. And Jones is facing charges of money laundering and theft of property. And by the way, I've heard of Mac the Knife, but he knifes the Mac. And cheese! Get it? Knifes the Mac? Comedy, right? Comedy, hilarious? No?
Funny.
No. It's impossible. Let's do a couple more of our elsewheres on our Greeley Times segment today. We go to Paderborn, Germany, with a story from Archaeology magazine. This is kind of interesting. A German archaeological team found an amazingly well-preserved 800-year-old notebook about a week or two ago. Where did they find it? In a medieval toilet. They know that this book is old because it's made of wooden tablets covered in wax, and it's etched with metal or bone on the wax. That's how they drew on it. That was somebody's notepad back then. This was their moleskin. Right? They literally wax on stone.
Wow.
And the still legible handwriting dates from the 14th century. Now, at first, the object that surfaced was kind of inconspicuous. It basically looked like a wet lump of dirt. And diggers described the odor as, quote, rather unpleasant.
Oh, God.
Although the book has yet to be translated, it's clear that the owner was literate, middle or upper class, because it really seems like a merchant jotting down notes about business.
Oh, wow.
And he probably dropped the book in the bog, in the toilet, by accident.
Oh.
Remember, they found it in an old urinal from hundreds of years ago. Gosh. God. I should like store my writings or something in our toilet, so that centuries from now, what remains of this house will be dug up, and somebody go, "What the hell is this?" And then they'll read my poetry, my songs, my writing, and then they'll tear it up and flush it down a real toilet. That's what we do. Let's go to Oakland, California, shall we? We shall. Oakland, California, for our next Elsewhere. I just mentioned before, it's the end of the world as we know it. Here's more proof. Ali Ben Abraham of Elite Event Robotics bought 2 tickets for a Southwestern Airlines flight in Oakland, California. His companion was Bebop, a 4-foot, 70-pound robot. The flight crew made Ben Abraham move Bebop out of an aisle seat because of rules about large carry-ons. Also, this caused an hour-long delay because flight attendants had to remove Bebop's lithium batteries because they exceeded Southwestern's allowable amount of batteries and lithium. Yeah, but again, everything now, half the stories here are robots, AI, self-driving this. Self-masturbating that. It's like we're in it. We're in it. Like 10 years ago, unthinkable. Now we're in it.
It's a different time, yeah.
Well, this is a little more. This is a little. No, even this isn't that old school. We're going to the United Kingdom for this article from Wigan Today. Ooh. Do you think that you have the fastest Allen wrench in the land?
No,
Oh, think again.
not at all.
Well, you're right, dear, because
I
that.
don't even know what that is.
Oh, you know, an Allen wrench. You ever try to put together stuff and instead of a screwdriver or thing, it's this little black metal thing with a turny hook? Yeah. Well, England's Hayley Macaulay defended her title at the 2nd annual Flat Pack World Championships on May 1st. In the event, which was part of a home design expo, competitors raced through multiple rounds of IKEA assembly with a live audience watching.
I love that.
Wigan Today.
I'd love to see that.
It would be fun, wouldn't it? It would be sort of cup stacking, but
That's
actually
a clever
useful.
idea.
Yeah. Wigan Today reported that Macaulay displayed, quote, speed, precision, and calm under pressure during the final round, where she put
You
together.
have to be because you have to, control
Oh,
it.
guess what? How long do you think it took her to put together a nightstand?
For me, 2 hours.
Yeah, for her, 8 minutes.
Guess where her next job will be.
I know, right? Well, hopefully NASA.
I mean, that's crazy, yeah.
Macaulay went home with the coveted Golden Allen Key Medal.
Ooh.
And the furniture, by the way, went to charity at the event.
Oh, good.
Isn't that cool? No meatballs were harmed in the assembly of the nightstand.
Oh, because of the Swedish meatballs.
Cool story, cool story. All right, let's finish off with one more Greeley time here on Dave's Gone By. Wow, that's an insistent bell. I'll get potato phone for this. A woman called to ask about dog breed restrictions after her she probably should after her apartment management let me see if I can read this. So she's calling about dog breed restrictions because her apartment management said Greeley police would not allow her dog to live at the apartment. Police,
That's fair, because with one, not the other.
And she's making sure it's true.
We're grandfathered in.
Yeah.
So,
And also, if you have a pit...
Could you read it again?
Yeah, sure. A woman called to ask about dog breed restrictions because her apartment management said that the police will not allow her dog to live at the apartment. Well, police informed her that police don't tell apartment management what kinds of breeds are allowed.
It's HOA, right? It's HOA.
Nor do they enforce apartment complex rules. So this is going to be...
But then who does? The board? I mean, somebody...
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're breaking the law is one thing. But, like, let's say you're in... Well, we are still in a townhome.
You can't stop anyone. If they bring the dog in and you see it, I mean...
Right, but remember when we were living in Colorado, we had a townhome. What if we wanted to paint our house, like, pink and purple and yellow? Like, we would run into trouble with the board. The police are not going to step in and say, put down the paintbrush.
No, but I think wouldn't there... What do you call those people? Animal control or something.
Oh, well...
You know. I mean, when I was working in Colorado...
Yeah.
To go to the yoga teacher, it was a pit bull and it was running as kids let it out. And so I'm walking, right? And their dog's running and they're chasing it. So I stopped and the dog was near me and I just said, sit. And the dog sat.
Thank God, yeah.
And I said to the kids, stop chasing your pet and grab it. And then what happened was the dog went off and then there was
What?
an animal control officer after the kids. So someone must have called them. But I guess because it's an animal. I don't know.
Well, but how when it sat, why did it get up and run again? Because they were chasing
kids
it.
Ran after it. You know, they don't know. They're trying to catch it. I was like, don't run. Remember one time we were also in Greeley and it was a cute little like poodly kind of tiny dog, and I heard. So I saw the dog. Remember, we're leaving. Your friend had kittens. It was a writing group person who had a bunch of little kittens. So we went outside and I was like, sit. And then the dog sat there and I didn't touch it. And then in a car came a woman and then their kid was screaming, crying. And then the woman grabbed it. It was her pet.
Yeah.
But you can't chase it.
Yeah, if you chase. I saw a stray dog also in Colorado. Yeah, and I kept trying to and every time it would see me try to go after it, it would start running again because I was playing.
Yes, they don't know. You got to stop or just call it. But yeah.
Yeah. So I just shot it, But unrelated to that particular, I don't even need the phone because this is another different one, but unrelated. A caller asked if police could take away a tenant's dog if they didn't pay rent. The officer said they could not legally do that.
Oh, you mean like to get to sell it?
Well, I guess, yeah. As punishment.
That's eviction court. You have to go to eviction.
Yeah, you can't just grab the person's dog. So,
Oh, look.
What? Talk to me.
This is a bluebird, but they have a nest thing too.
Oh, show me. Oh, the bluebirds have blue eggs. That kind of makes sense.
Look how cute. That looks kind of like not Ernest Borgnine, Ethel.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Ethel looked like that.
Look how pretty. I was trying to. Those look like robin's eggs, but I guess they know.
Maybe baby birds all kind of resemble the same, It's very cute. Oh my God.
It is cute. Well, anyway, cute and not. Those are the items for this week of Greeley Times here on Dave's Gone Bye.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool. I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi, 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 yi-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is 10:15 Eastern Time here in Maryland, where we do the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream. With me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife, and you guys watching at home, and please telling other people about the show. You know, we've been building and growing, and then we're getting a lot of viewers on YouTube now, and you know, we're putting all our shows, our new shows, and all our older shows are on Spotify. Just getting the word out there, having more and more people watch, so that I can become an influencer. But yeah, we have a lot more to do on this particular episode of the show, including our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, Rabbi Sol Solomon recounting the AI song that just drummed up in about 3 seconds for him. Storytime, Miriam and her dancing shoes, plus Colorado Limerick of the Damned, I think I mentioned, where we're going to Concrete, Colorado. But before all of that, I think it's time to bring our guest into the Daverhood. He's William Missouri Downs. He's written quite a few plays over the years, and he's got more than 350 productions around the world. But he's also taking time as a director. I mean, he's done a lot of directing too. He's directing his wife's one-woman show, and that is happening at the Denver Fringe Festival this coming week. I think it's the 4th and the 6th that she will be performing it. So go see that. Also get his books. He's got textbooks about playwriting, screenwriting. In fact, one of his playwriting and theater texts is now in its 5th edition. He makes more money from that textbook than he does from all his playwriting and stuff. So yeah, William.
Let me tell you, royalties are not that much.
Well, if you hit a 5th printing and you're selling like tens of thousands of copies, it's not like he makes an amazing living, but you know, he made his best living obviously writing for television.
Yes.
Where
yes.
yeah. I mean, the money was great. It's just the work is not fun. But I mean, some of it's fun. But we're going to hear all about it from William Missouri Downs. So let me minimize that. Let me grab this. Let me grab that. Boom, boom. Let me cancel that. Or let me minimize that. And then I can bring up what I need to so that I can share Rabbi Sol's conversation with William Missouri Downs. So let me open this up. Yeehaw. And share. Where's my share screen thing on this? So I can't even.
It's the green one, the green little button.
Yeah, but so many windows. I've got
I know. I trust you.
Here it is.
Trust me, I know.
Lam-de-doo-de-da. Cool. So, without further ado or don't, Rabbi Sol has been with us since our very first episode of the program back in October of 2002. He's still doing his thing, and he does most of our interviews, and he's honored to bring into the Daverhood William Missouri Downs. Oh, shalom, my friends. Shalom, my enemies, too. This is our old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, the founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. In fact, I'm going to call myself Rabbi Sol Great Neck Solomon in honor of the playwright that we have in front of us, because he has a very unusual middle name. He's not just Bill Downs or William Downs. He's William Missouri Downs. So we want to ask him about that. Also about the 3 novels or 4 novels that he's written. Also about his many, many plays. Also, he's directing a play as we speak by his missus. So much to talk about, including his very, very deep, dark thoughts about where artificial intelligence is taking all of humanity, let alone art. So, ladies and gentlemen, won't you please welcome and bid shalom to William Missouri Downs. Shalom!
Shalom!
All right,
Yes.
Good. Get the shouting back and forth. It's
Okay, I'm shouting, yes. I guess I'm not good at that. But it's a joy to be here. Thank you for
You're not
having
good
me.
at it because you're not Jewish. What are you, by the way? What is your religious affiliation?
I discovered that I am of Jewish heritage. Yes, I found out by accident. I changed my name many, many years ago. And I was in a library and they called out my name. And I went, who knows I'm here? Walked up, and another person walked up just then and said my name. And he turned to me and I turned to him. It was a very rare German Jewish name. And we started talking and he said, you're from the other side of the family. And I said, what are you talking about? He says, two brothers came over from Germany just before World War I. One gave up his Jewishness and anglicized his name. The other kept his Jewish pronunciation and remained Jewish. He was from the Jewish side of the family. And I looked at him and I went, I'm Jewish? And he said, yeah, you are. And I went, I did not know this. And it was never mentioned in my family. And it was strange because I had written a number of plays with Jewish characters.
Right. I was going to bring that.
Yes.
Yes. I can't find the one that I wrote down, but yes.
So no, I am not practicing in any way, shape, or form, but I have some blood in me.
So was it just like, oh my God, or what did that start you on a procession of soul searching and going through your family archives and history and your own personal like belief system, or it was just like a shock and then you got over it?
It was a shock, and I still this happened almost a decade, 15 years ago, and I'm still processing. And it was just odd that I had written plays like Kosher Lutherans and Dead White Males that had a major Jewish character in it, and that was all done before I found out. So it's just sort of my family, blew up and went in 1,000 different directions, and they've all passed now. So I don't have anybody really to sit down and talk to about it. So I just sort of.
Well, you didn't keep in touch with the guy you saw at the thing who told you in the first place? You didn't trade emails? No.
I tried to, but his wife answered the phone, and then she said they had a son with my name, and he died. And so the father couldn't face me. But my humor is, years ago, I was standing in like a food market, and the phone rang. And this woman was a thick German accent, was on the other side. And she said, hello, we want to produce your play. And it was from Vienna, of all things. And I went, okay, who is this? What is this? This is not good. And then she said, your humor is very Jewish. Are you Jewish? And I went, no, and I handed it over to my wife. I said, I don't know what this is, but no, this someone with a German accent is asking me if I'm German, if I'm Jewish. And she took down the information, and it turned out it was a legitimate offer. I flew to Vienna. They did a comedy of mine in German. They did it well. Germans laughed. They actually,
you don't hear that
Germans.
Often. Germans laugh, except when at piles of dead Jews, Germans laugh. But
yeah,
living Jews,
it.
they don't laugh so much. Yeah.
Well, I went in and they said, you have to be in the curtain call. It's about a 300-seat theater in downtown Vienna. And I said, no, you don't understand. Playwrights sit in the back and drink. We're not in curtain calls. She said, well, that's how we do it here. And I said, no. Opening night, the playwrights in the curtain call. And I went, no, I refuse to do it, right? Well, because I just couldn't. I'm not an onstage person. Well, I went over into the theater and they sat me in the worst possible seat right against the wall of this theater. And I thought, oh, okay, they don't like me because I said no. Well, the production was one of the best productions I've ever had. I was thrilled with it. And as the curtain call started, I heard a clunk and I looked and the wall beside me opened in a tiny little hatch. And there was the stage manager with headsets on, and she went,
Wow.
And I climbed through the wall of the theater, went down a little secret passage, went backstage, and I was in the second and fourth curtain calls.
You gotta take if you're gonna get all these
know.
lumps and all these rejections as a playwright,
Yeah.
a director, and everything else, you might as well take the curtain calls and the bows when they come. You know?
Yes. I'm still shy about it, but it was a marvelous memory, and still one of the best productions I've ever had. And I swear it was in German. I could understand it.
Well,
I could understand
you
it.
know what's going on, even though it's so.
Yeah.
Let me ask you though. Speaking of names, you didn't tell us what your actual Jewish name is.
I never say it. It's just I what can I say? I didn't get along with my father. I did not get along with my father, and I had his name, and so I moved on 30 years ago, and went, you know what? I just don't want to go there. But yeah, so it's one of those things, you know. I had the typical playwright's childhood. You know, what's the old Rodney Dangerfield joke? You know, you look up, you look up something in the dictionary, and there's a picture of me. Well, if you look up, tragic playwright's childhood, there's a picture of me, and it was just filled with violence and horrible things that were happening. And so I've been trying desperately to write my way out of that for years now. And sometimes I
Does it
succeed.
work? Is there catharsis in? First of all, you
Yes.
write a lot of comedies, so I'm wondering if that's a reaction or you're an avoidance. But is the writing pulling you out of the horror that you lived with as a kid?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, because what can I say? When I was a kid, the only way I could get out of situations was to make my parents laugh. And that I wasn't going to be beaten that day, if they were laughing. It was terrible. My father used to come into my bedroom at 2 a.m. with a sawed-off shotgun, okay? And put it in his lap and wake me up and say, I'm going to kill myself, talk me out of it. I'm like 12 years old, and I'm going, okay, let's have a therapy session,
Or, okay, you go ahead, Dad. Not going to miss you much. Put the toe on the trigger,
But you're when you're 12 years old, it's the only dad you got,
And when was your mom? Was your mom also abusive, or was she just harried and
No.
scared, or what the hell? No.
Scared and beaten. Yeah, it was not a. It was a very frightening time. But comedy is what got me out of it. And so I began, when I was an actor, I was best at acting in comedies. And now, vast majority, 99% of what I write is humorous or comedy. And I think it's the only way to get through life, is to laugh your way through it.
I agree. It was laugh and scream. Which is
Laugh and scream. Laugh and scream.
Laugh
Hopefully at the same time.
By the way,
Yeah,
before I forget, we're talking with William Missouri. Now, so when you chose a new name, again,
Yes.
William, nice Americanish, non-Jewy name. Downs, all right, it's a little close to the syndrome, but otherwise it's good. But where did Missouri come from?
Well, I was trying to come up with something, and my wife, her great-grandmother was a Cherokee Indian. And she was on a reservation, and the census takers came around, and they gave her a list of last names because she only had the name Sandal. Isn't that a beautiful name, Sandal?
Yeah.
And they said, you have to have a last name, and they presented Indians with names, lists of names. And the first name on the list was Downs. So she became Sandal on a reservation in Missouri, Downs. Sandal, Missouri, Downs. She married a Baptist missionary, moved to Alabama, and had 97,000 children. And get this, I found her grave in an abandoned graveyard, and she kept her name in marriage. She died in 1905, and she kept her name. Wow. She didn't take her husband's name. And so I knelt down on this abandoned graveyard, and I basically asked permission to have her name. and no squirrels attacked me or anything, so I figured it was okay.
No squirrels, no groundhogs, no lynxes prowling about.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's been so long that it just becomes part of you. And I always say, don't be yourself. All of this crap we hear now about be yourself, be yourself. I think that's BS. I think you create yourself. If I had to be myself, I would be an emotional basket case. All right. So I created myself, and it took 35 years now that I've had that name, but suddenly it became me.
Well, did you have? We'll get more to the art and the creativity and what you're directing and all that. But did you, in addition to the writing, did you go through years and years and years of therapy, or really you pulled it? I mean, come on, what a life!
I was a poor playwright living in a transient hotel. I never could afford a therapist. Writing became my therapy, and I do believe writing is therapy. I've written numerous plays about fathers, and you know what they do in it? They say the words my father never said to me. By the way, he died last year at 98 years old. Yeah, last surviving member. And I wrote the words, and he said it to me numerous times. The words the real man never said, I love you.
Right. He never said that ever. But you kept in touch with him? Or you just heard somewhere that, he's dropping dead?
I took care of him to his dying day.
May I ask why?
I need therapy, I guess. I really don't know why. I just simply, I took my mother died 25 years ago, and I took care of him for 20 years, taking him out to breakfast twice a week and listening to some stories he told to me. I worked out that there were stories that he told me about his genius that he told over 1,000 times. Can you imagine listening to the same story about how wonderful your father is 1,000 times? But maybe I don't know, maybe I'm into pain.
And did he ever acknowledge what a misery he was? Excuse my throat.
Here's the type of man he was. I went to his nursing home and I told him, I can't take the election that's coming up. I can't be here in the United States for the election. All right, so my wife and I are heading to London, all right? And we're gonna watch it from London. And I'll be back in 2 weeks. Now, I told him that at least 5 times. I left, came back 10 days later, went to the nursing home. He was in the cafeteria. I walked in and he said, "You're alive." I said, "Yes." "I thought you were dead." And I went, "No, Dad, I told you I was in London." Oh, okay. Well, did I tell you? And then he just went on. I mean, he thought I was dead.
Wow.
All right. I think because of him is the reason that I love Chekhov so much, who I think is, a brilliant writer, and it's the only writer I'll go back and see a Chekhov play over and over and over again because I get so much from it.
It's interesting you mentioned this because you adapted Uncle Vanya. Did you do the Russian? Did you do it from a Russian thing, or did you adapt a translation?
Oh no, I completely faked my way through it. I fed it into a word translator and went from there. But I also wrote a play called it's published by Hoyer, Seagulls in a Cherry Tree, which is a comedy about 2 Hollywood screenwriters who have been hired by Walt Disney to rewrite The Cherry Orchard into a movie for Mel Gibson. So I've had fun with that, and I've directed Chekhov a number of times, but I think he is absolutely brilliant. And strangely, some of my plays are now being done in Russia.
Ooh, all right.
Yes. One of my comedies has had like 5 productions now in Russia. I don't know why. It's really strange. Comedy doesn't go over borders, you know?
Right, yeah, you would think not. Isn't it?
Yeah. And my comedies have been done in Russia, South Korea, Spain. They've been done in, oh my
How are
gosh,
these countries are they published? How are people in
They're
all these other
published.
countries? That's how, yeah.
Yeah, they're published or they've won some big award. Two of them that are big overseas were finalists in the Eugene O'Neill. And they go to that site and try to find those and then contact me and say they want to do it. Or they find them on my website. But I've had now about 35, 40 productions overseas. And sometimes I've seen them. I saw one in South Korea, and it was very strange to hear it in Korean and people laughing. I don't know. I don't know why that works, but for some reason, it works in foreign countries. So, and I've been done in Israel. So.
Oh, now did you get to go? Did you see the...
No, it was years ago, and I was so poor. It was 30 years ago, and I just didn't they didn't offer, and I didn't have the money.
Are you able now to make a reasonable living as a writer? I know you're married. You probably have a double income thing going on, but how do you make it? Because you haven't been on Broadway. You don't really have a New York credit. So we wonder where's
I think
the living coming from?
The living. Well, one thing was I wrote in Hollywood, and writing for sitcoms. Really. Yeah, I wrote for sitcoms, and I sold a movie to Ron Howard. He never made it. I sold another movie, or at least it was optioned to Filmways. They never made it. But that I was smart and saved a lot of money. And then I was a professor for a while. And now plays do pretty good, but unlike every playwright who's listening to this knows that you don't make money at it. I think the best year I've ever had as a playwright is around $12,000 in royalties, which is, you're living in a river, a van down by the river, But my textbooks
can't even afford the government cheese, and they're giving away free. Yeah, that's how poor. Yeah,
that's how poor I was. Yes, but then I've sort of saved very well. I have successful textbooks, and those are cash cows.
By the way, we should mention. One of them is in its fifth, count them, fifth edition of the Art of Theater, plus there was a screenwriting book called Screenplay Winning the Picture. Oh, you did
writing the picture. Well, I've also got a playwriting book here. Well, I got that. And what else have I done here? I've written novels. I don't know. Every writer's got them right there. There's a funny one about academia that I wrote, and there's so many of them over here. So I do pretty well, and I published 13 plays, and I just managed money very, very well, and now I made it that I don't have to work.
Have you? Yeah. Was New York ever on your horizon? And or you went to the West Coast. You wrote for. I mean, this man wrote for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and My Two Dads. I mean, shows you've heard of. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know about My Two Dads. Anybody knows? It's an old Paul Reiser show. I guess it was
Greg Evigan. Yeah.
Yeah, Greg Evigan. That's exactly right. Yeah. I went to New York when I was very young and studied playwriting under Lanford Wilson and Milan Stitt at the Circle Rep Theater, and my wife joined me, and we were so poor. We lived in a transient hotel on the corner of 77th and Broadway. Sometimes we didn't eat, we were so poor. Then I ended up going to film school at UCLA and worked in Hollywood for a while, got tired of that, and moved to a cabin in Colorado in the middle of nowhere. And then a huge fire came within 2 miles of it, almost burned it down. And so we moved into Denver, and now we're moving again. We're gonna move into another location that's quieter. And
also in Colorado, though, because Colorado is gorgeous.
Also, I love Cork. Yeah, I'm a Colorado boy. But the other day, my wife and I sat down and added up all the places we've lived, from dorms. We used to own a beach house down in Gulf Shores, Alabama. My wife's from Alabama. And every place we had lived for more than 4 months. All right. So if I was acting in a summer theater, that counted as a place. And we lost count at 37 different places. So I have jumped all over the place. I'm not very good at staying still. And I don't know. I think I'm constantly running away, trying to find the home. I was writing a friend of mine the other day that I don't have the front porch that you go home to for Thanksgiving. And I'm so jealous of people who have a home that is waiting for them, no matter how the world changes. And I have never had that. I've never had that home. And so I'm constantly searching. I guess it's, again, the writer's life.
Well, if the cabin hadn't burned down, that might have been.
No, it didn't burn. It came close.
Almost. I'm sorry, almost burned. Yeah.
Yeah, we were evacuated. But yeah, so I don't know. I do what I do. I write the books. I write the novels. I've had about 350 productions now, which is not bad. I'm not writing as much in the playwriting anymore. I'm thinking of one right now that I might write, but sort of taking a break from it.
I don't want to say the word gravitating because I love theater, but why novels? Unless we'll mention that you have a blog on Substack that we want to talk about, but why prose and fiction more so now than theater?
Well, I got to tell you, I think one of the most difficult transitions is playwright to fiction. And that goes the other way. When I used to teach, I was teaching an MFA class in playwriting for novelists, and they could not get it. They couldn't understand how to do exposition, because in a novel, it's so easy. You just state it. In a play, the character's got to state their exposition, and they've got to have a reason for that to come up right now. They need something. There's a reason they're saying it. And maybe it was my lack of ability as a professor, but I couldn't get through to them on how to do it. And so I just one day started saying, let's go to this other form, and it's so freeing. My God, novel writing is so much easier than playwriting.
Oh. Wow.
Screenwriting is easier than playwriting. Playwriting is the most difficult thing because all you've got is a limited number of scenes, a limited location, just a few characters, and the rules are so tight that if you can write a play and do it well, I think you can write just about anything.
So what is your regimen? You must, because especially when you're working on longer form now, on a daily or every other day, but you get up, when do you write, how much do you write, you have a quota, a goal, you just wait for inspiration or perspiration, what is it?
I write every day. I was studied, my genes were studied at the University of California, San Francisco, because there's some long name for it, but the short name is superlark. And superlarks are people who wake up at ungodly hours in the morning. And I've been this way since I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, it was the only time.
Well, you woke up in terror because you thought your father was going to blow his head off. But okay, but other than that,
I wake up automatically, fully awake and ready to go every morning between 2 and 3:30. And that's what a superlark does. It's quiet, and I don't have a social. I don't have a social life because going to the theater requires that I stay up like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and I automatically get out of bed 4 hours later. I without fail. I haven't woke up to an alarm clock in 50 years. I pop out of bed. I slept in this morning 3:45.
So do you ever get writer's block, or you've always got something? If you're not working on this, you work on something else, and you get back to the other thing, or no? It looks like...
No, I generally have one project at a time, but I don't believe in writer's block. I don't think it exists. A writer's block only means you're not asking the right question. And this is one of the problems with playwriting today, because a lot of people are being taught to express their feelings, which is important. But playwriting, and this is condemned, what I'm about to say, structure.
Oh, yeah.
And if you go back to the rules of structure and start asking questions about your script with the rules of structure, what the question does is cause creativity, because you got to answer this particular question. And so I was, because I went to film school at UCLA, structure was drilled into me. And the rules of structure and how to write a good screenplay and how to write a good play were drilled into me so strong that anytime I don't feel like writing, I immediately just start asking myself questions. And I generally write from 3:33, whatever, until about 8:39. And then I take a shower. And I take a very long shower. And in the shower, 5 new ideas come. And thereby, I'm ready for tomorrow.
And what do you do the rest of the day? Sleep? No, or then
I
you have
don't
to
know.
deal with email and who wants to produce your play, and if you have I don't know if you have an agent, but all that sort of thing.
Yeah, got an agent. Lately, though, I've really discovered trying to write novels because I've only been published by 2 tiny publishers, and now I think I've got a contract with a little bit bigger publisher for my 3rd. But I have learned that good writing doesn't matter anymore. Truly good writing,
What?
not in novel writing, you have to have a following. And what I've discovered is, they'll email me and say, "We loved your novel, it was great, but you only have 2,000 Facebook followers." And this new one is doing the same. They're saying, "You've got to build up your social media." So now during the day, I'm spending a ridiculous amount of time trying to educate myself on social media so that I have a whole bunch of supposed followers who will read my novels. I think it's a really totally fucked up world.
Please, that word is fine by me.
It's
stoked up, if you want to.
yeah, capitalism.
Actually, since you bring that up, one of your latest blogs you have a Substack thing that
Yes.
It's called Theater and the Art of Life. So you're still writing a thing about theater, at least, if you're not writing plays. But it's this marvelous essay that you wrote about AI. And the inevitability of it, and how to certainly not welcome it, but to circumvent it a little bit, even as we accept it inevitably. Can you please give us a little spiel about AI writing for theater and for film and for anything?
Well, I think AI is going to become the next God. Humans have always wanted an omniscient being to tell them what to do. And I think AI is going to do that. In the near future, there'll be no need for playwrights. The director will hit a button, state how many cast members they need, what the story they want, what identities they want, what the moral is going to be. They'll hit a button and it will absolutely generate it in a matter of seconds. I tested this. I took one of my comedies, I cut the last 20 pages from it, fed it into AI, and said, write the ending. And it was okay, but what shocked me was it wrote jokes that made me laugh. Now you have to understand, being a comedy writer, we suffer from comedy burnout. And you really got to be funny to make me laugh, because I've heard them all. And I'm reading this and I started laughing at what AI had written. And that's when I realized that theater could be in trouble. And that's why we need a national campaign right now. All theaters joining together with a massive campaign stating that theater is the anti-AI art. We make announcements from the stage, left and right. We talk about, this and that and who's our sponsor. But what we need to do is start telling everyone, saying, theater, the anti-AI art. Look at all the kids who are now, booing their graduation speakers who talk about AI. Make something on AI.
They're booing, and yet they're using it in their essays.
Exactly.
Well,
but if theaters right now started going, we are the anti-AI art, And this was in all of their advertisements. And they started talking about it in interviews. It could get a little bit of traction, and we could start pulling in that younger audience. I go to see my plays, and I am often the youngest person in the audience. We've lost the young people. And if we started saying we are the anti-AI art, we might get them back.
Except half the playwrights are going to be using, surreptitiously. I'm going to have to sign a disclosure thing. I did not use AI in writing this book.
did not.
Well, except
Yeah.
for structure. Except it gave me an outline, but I wrote the rest. I'm not kidding.
President. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's quite amazing. And I do worry. Actors, I say in the essay, are pretty safe until holograms come on. But, ABBA's doing that now. Designers are in serious trouble because
let me
writing
ask you.
designs can all be done now by AI in seconds.
But fair question. You wrote the play. You chopped off the last 20 pages. You fed it through AI, and AI. Would you incorporate the best jokes from
No.
AI into if it worked? No,
No,
that would
'cause
be
they-
cheating or what?
Yeah, well, they were funny, but they weren't me. I've got a pretty dark sense of humor, and I think playwrights. When I was a screenwriter, when I was working in television, they would rewrite what I wrote, and you go, yeah, I got paid really well for doing this, so yeah, take it. You own the copyright. You do what you want. Playwrights were paid crap. All we have is the pride of ownership. And I got to tell you, I would sit with the other writers when I was on sitcoms and watch them tape the episode, and the audience would laugh, and I'd go, it's my episode, my name's on it. And yet the joke was written by John over there, because it's group written, after the first draft. But when I sit in the audience and they laugh at my play, that's my joke. I did it. I had the sense of humor to make 300 people in a theater laugh. And I got to tell you, that's better than anything. That is really, that's a high.
Now, let me ask you, William Missouri Downs,
Yes.
speaking of being on a high, do you have a favorite play that you've written? It could be a long one, could be one of the short ones.
Well, I don't know. That play I mentioned earlier, Seagulls in the Cherry Trail, I really love that one. I wrote a play that's no longer produced anymore that I really loved. It was called The Exit Interview. It got a rolling premiere from the National New Play Network, but it was a comedy about a school shooting. So that's dead now.
Yeah, no.
And
I'm
it's
surprised it
funny
was
as
ever,
hell.
with all due respect, the topic. Yeah.
It had about 20 productions, and then theaters started going, oh no, we can't do this. Well, one of the problems is theater has become scared. I think theaters in this country are terrified because now, I remember years ago, they do a play of mine and someone would walk out and the artistic director would come to me and say, we lost so-and-so. And I'd say, I'm so sorry. And they go, that's okay. They got plenty of others. If they're going to act like that, we're not interested. Now theaters are terrified. Someone's going to start a campaign. Someone's going to write something. I have never seen so many safe plays in my entire life. If I see one more musical based on a Hollywood movie, I'm going to blow my brains out.
Like almost father, like son. Don't do that. But yeah.
No, I know. Well, he never did. But theater has gone safe, and that is its demise.
Okay, so besides the school shooting thing that you wrote, what is the most dangerous risk-taking play that you ever wrote?
With a good friend, I wrote a musical called Fascism the Musical. And it had, Ayn Rand singing in it. We had the trickle-down economics song, the socialism polka.
That sounds politically charged, but not offensive, but not, radical.
Well, there were
Yeah.
a university that I was working at the time produced it, and the threats started coming in. We had to have police officers in the back of the theater during the performances, just because, you know.
Because
So that was probably the most dangerous, and we made terrible fun of the NRA, and basically said the country was going towards fascism. And I'm not talking about fascism in the sense of a dictatorship. I'm talking about the economic sense of fascism, and that is that the government works with huge corporations and becomes their best friend. And that's what
never happened. Never happened. Come on.
We're living it.
Science
We're
fiction,
living
my
it.
friend. No. No, by the way, we're talking about plays and things. There's a
Yes.
play that you did not write. However, you
Yes.
are directing, and it's by someone
Yes.
you know closely, and it is happening June 4th and June 6th. It's a play called Forgiving Alabama. Is it
Yes.
comedy? What is it? What is that?
It's comedy. My wife and I been together forever. We've been together for 49 years, since children practically. But she's from Alabama and had a wild childhood as well. So she wrote a little 50-minute one-woman show about her childhood and what it was like growing up in the beauty shops in Alabama and the charm lessons she was forced to take, and eventually running off with a crazy playwright.
Who is that?
And I wonder who that was. So we're staging it during the Denver Film Festival, and I'm directing.
Denver
her.
Fringe, or is it?
Denver, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah.
Denver Fringe Festival. There'll be 2 performances, and I'm just gently being her sounding board and directing for it. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, are you able? Yeah, you've known her for 49. You've been married 49 years. So when you're
45
directing
years.
her, are you? You know, does she take good direction? Are you, a little more whatever in directing her than you are with other people, or you can tell her everything?
I can tell her everything. I mean, we've written the Introduction to Theater book together. We've written 3 plays together. So we're used to being intimate. But with any actress, you've got to, you got to keep them safe. And that's one of the most difficult things about directing now, is how to keep them safe and yet challenge them at the same time. I think a lot of places now, particularly at universities, are keeping the young actors safe, and nothing's happening. So you've got to push them. You've got to challenge them, and that's a difficult tightrope to walk these days. But with her, it's not a problem. I just put a glass of wine in her and then give her notes.
That sounds like a third date. But speaking of, first of all, I don't know how old you are, but you must be at least 70, and I do not see that. How old are you?
I'll be 71 in 2 months.
McMazel, I mean, no, dude, you look barely 58. I'm telling you. On this,
Yeah.
and also,
I'll tell you the key to that, and the key is a good diet and getting away from crazy people. I didn't look quite this good when I was around crazy, insane people, and Peloton. I'm a dedicated Peloton person.
Really?
Yes.
It's interesting. You should write a play cycle. That's a bad joke, right? That's a really
That's a
terrible
bad
joke.
one. That's really bad. Yeah.
Well, we are wrapping up our marvelous interview with William Missouri. Don't wait. I got one more question. Don't be shutting off so quick. Hold on, damn it.
All right.
But we want to remind people that, first of all, they can read much more about him at his own website, WilliamMissouriDowns.com, spelled just like the whole thing sounds. You can get his books, The Art of Theater, 5th edition, as well as Screenplay Writing the Picture. And if you happen to be in Colorado, they're doing the Denver Fringe. And on June 4th and June 6th, he's directing his wife's play, Forgiving Alabama. But before we let you go, being a playwright and having written a beloved, obviously, textbook about what makes your textbook different from, with all due respect, 100 other books about how to write a play. I mean, obviously, you're a structuralist for sure, but what else?
So we're talking about naked playwriting.
Okay, you're right. Naked player. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Naked playwriting. What makes it different?
Yeah.
I think what makes it different is I've had enough time to do several editions. And so the new edition, which is the second edition, there was actually 3, but it changed publishers, so now it's actually the second. I think what makes it different is I don't go into the feel good, what's your motivation? Where are you coming from? Think about what you want to say. I let you take care of that. You're what you want to write. I figure the writers got that, and if they don't have that, they shouldn't be writers. So now I go into technique, and it is a book full of techniques. I think techniques are things that you reject. You throw away. You say, oh, can I use that? Oh, that one I can use. This one I can't use. All right. And so I was talking to a friend of mine who went to NYU theater, and I think it was NYU, and she said in her 2 years there, they never once talked about structure. Not once. It was all about feelings and expressing it. Well, your feelings and your expressions are boring. All right?
Not mine, but everybody else's. Yeah.
Yes, they're boring.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Tell the run-on story. What we're not teaching and what this book does is how to tell a story. And then you, the writer, decide what you want to use and what you don't want to use. But if a playwright doesn't have a bag of tricks, and that goes for all writers, if they don't understand the form, all right, then they're going to write boring plays. And there are a lot of boring plays out there.
Well, you're not writing them, William Missouri Downs. You're writing plays. You've got that novel coming out. By the way, the next novel is going to be called Almost Picasso, which sounds like a fun thing. Speaking of AI, it's all about...
Yeah, it's all about AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about a family of artists. The world is being taken over by AI, and we don't need artists anymore. And what happens to them? I think it's a very funny novel, but it's really facing what artists are today, and it should be out in 2027.
And available on Amazon and all the
It's Heresy, which is part of. They're part of another one. I forgot. What can I say? I'm real bad at this. But they distribute through Simon & Schuster, so we should be able to get it out there. So a little publisher, but I'm stepping up little by little.
And the social media thing, remember that he has a Substack called Theater and the Art of Life, which you can easily find and read his essays. And then you'll want to read his plays, and then you'll want to do his plays and keep William Missouri Downs. He's gotten 350 productions around the world. Make it 700 by the next time we see you. And that should be next year. Hallelujah.
Please.
William Missouri Downs.
Right.
Do you have a Jewish name? Did you ever get a Jewish name because you found out you were or no?
Oh no, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Will you make one up for me?
Maybe, let's see, something from Missouri. Mishmash, maybe? No, that's not that.
Oh, mishmash.
No, I'll think about it.
Yeah, send me one. Maybe I'll use it as a hashtag.
Ooh,
yeah.
Good deal. William,
okay.
Shalom to you, and thank you so much.
Shalom. Thank you very much.
William Missouri Downs, ladies and gentlemen, on the Dave's Gone By show with me, Rabbi Sol Solomon. So, speaking of writing, and I was talking to him, of course, about all these things and AI doing the writing for us. So, Dave's wonderful wife, Dave, the host and producer of this program, Dave's Gone By, which is, by the way, on its 1034th episode right now, May 30th, 2026. So she fed in, she was playing around with her phone with the ChatGPT and the Copilot and the this and the that, and she's going, you know what? What if we write a song for and about me, Rabbi Sol Solomon? What would a computer, a phone computer, spit out in terms of trying to create a song about and for me, right? And do it as a rap. Or it suggested, I think, would you like to turn this into a rap? Well, we're going to have the results are right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is, honest to God, not a human word written in this rather lengthy song called the Ultra Yiddish Rap Sol beat. And by the way, just to tell you that AI is not quite perfect the way I am, it spelled my name S-A-U-L instead of S-O-L. I'm Rabbi Sol Solomon. So already it's a little hinky. But check this out. I'm going to try and rap this to you. You can do your own beat. I have a drum here. Hold on. And that's enough of that. Here we go. Yo, drop the needle. Let the bass line hit. Rabbi Sol is on the mic, and he's killing the spit. All right. I mean, I'd spit a lot. You should see the screen of this computer here. It's sputum running down from the top of it all the way to the keys. Hey, no more Gunisht talk. A little bit of Yiddish there, but not really. Clear the smoke out of the room. When the shofar blasts, hear the speakers go boom. All right, a good rhyme, and the shofar is actually used properly. This is good. Forget that tsuris, throw your worries away. Sol's big fat tuchus is leading the way. Honest to God, it's all about my tuchus, written by artificial intelligence, talking about my ass. But I'm leading the way. My big fat tuchus is leading the way. And now we get, it's literally in parentheses, chorus. Now we get to the chorus. Shake that tuchus, Sol. Make the sanctuary bounce. Right, okay. That's actually freaking funny. Every single ounce of that nachas counts. Look at that. Internal rhyme yet. Sondheim would be impressed. Well, he won't be impressed. From the Yiddish cup to the soles of your shoes, we got too much flavor for the culture to lose. Pushing. Yeah, shake that duchess. Let the rhythm take control. Ain't nobody rocking like Rabbi Sol. Again, it's spelling me wrong. And now this is verse 1, quote again. None of this is from me. This is literally drummed up in 3 seconds by a machine. The synagogue swagger. He walks into shul with a zaftig stride, again talking about my butt, got the whole congregation feeling kvel with pride. No, kvelling with pride. It's almost, 2 more years. This will be, you wouldn't need an Alan Sherman to write this. Got the whole, anyway, he's a mensch, thank you, with a seichel, sharp as a tack, but he's a total mamza when he hops on a track. I wonder if it actually knows that mamza is not a good word, or it knows me too well what mamza really means. Hey, got the chutzpah to preach, got the swagger to match. That beautiful Shayna face is a total catch. Someone on Facebook insulted my looks and saying, oh yeah, typical, you look like a Jew. And I said something really horrible about his sister because this is the way Facebook goes. But all right, thank you, AI. AI thinks I'm pretty. Thank you, AI. He's skipping the schwitz, keeping cool under fire. That's rather nice. Lifting up the spirits of the synagogue choir. And of course, this is the bridge. The bridge is the naughty rabbi breakdown. I've had several breakdowns. Unfortunately, a few of them were really naughty. And then, the beat drops out. Just a crisp snare and a heavy bass pluck. Check the bima, check the scroll. Sol is breaking the mold. That's a bad rhyme, but a little bit naughty, but his heart is pure gold. Copper. He's sipping the slivovitz, dodging the rules, bringing style to the shul. They don't teach you in schools. All right, now this thing has actual flow. This has digital AI-created flow. Unbelievable. No time to gawk, no time to delay. He's making a mitzvah out of every single day. Or the scansion a little, but right. Again, 3 seconds this was spat out by nothing, out of the air. Incredible. Now bring that kick drum back in the mix. He's dropping the rhymes for the crowds and the shiksas. As much as I love shiksas, but I think they're even doing a almost amazing, clever rhyme thing, because what they're doing is, now bring that kick drum back in the mixes, dropping the rhymes for the crowds and the shiksas. So it's mixes and shiksas. Even the Bible doesn't have that level of cleverness, my friends. And now here's verse 2, the feast and the flow. It's a simcha tonight. Let the klezmer horns blow. We schmoozing with the family, putting on a big show. Time to eat. Stack the brisket up high. We sailing like kings till the sun hits the sky. I'm feeling it. I don't feel anything, but this I'm feeling, my God. Grab a tchotchke or two, throw your hands in the air. Don't just stand there in the corner like a golem there. Fabulous, just fabulous. We bench on for the blessings when the night is all done. Rabbi Sol in the house, and he's number one. And of course, he's number two. And now we have literally outro time. Yeah, keep that rhythm tight. No more grabbing, no more slacking. Keep that big fat tuchus shaking. Rabbi Sol signing off. Mazel tov. Peace. Yeah, this. Now, the computer, the phone, spits out this song, right? And then underneath gives extra suggestions for post. Should we add a call and response section for the crowd to yell back? No, I already have sick of people yelling at me all the time. I don't need more people yelling. Do you want to include specific holiday references like Hanukkah or Purim? And by the way, we're printing it. This, honest to God, all came off a computer. What specific rap subgenre, like 90s East Coast or modern trap, whatever the heck that is, should we format the lyric delivery for? Tell me your next studio move. So we toyed around a little bit more, and honest to God, came up the machine with a sadder, a more somber rap that it named The Lamentation of Sol, because that is much more close to my personality, right? Intro. A low, haunting klezmer clarinet sample loops over a slow, crushing, distorted drum beat. That sort of sounds the same. No hype man, just the heavy, echoing voice of Sol. Hear the chauffeur blast like a cry in the dark. Sol on the mic, trying to find the spark. The temple is empty. The heating is dead. This is actually like my temple. Too much Saurus filling up my head. Nothing but bupkis left in the vault. Every single crisis feels like my fault. I literally could have and should have written this. I dragged this big fat tuchus. It's keeping the tuchus. Big fat tuchus across the floor. A depressed renegade staring at the door. Here comes the chorus. I drag this tuchus. Yeah, Pink doesn't have a chorus like that. I drag this tuchus, Sol through the mud and the rain, a heavy soul trying to survive the pain. It's interesting. Neither this version nor the previous happy version mentions the Holocaust. I mean, with all the other cliches and all the Yiddishisms thrown in, the one thing they don't have in here is Treblinka. I've got to note that and feed that into the machine. From the Yiddish cup to the soles of my shoes, I got nothing left but the synagogue blues. Yes, shake that tuchus, though my spirit is cold. A naughty rabbi, just feeling too old. And then verse 1, the weight of the congregation. That's what it's titled. I walk in the shul with a heavy, slow stride. The altar cock is judging, nowhere to hide. They look at my face, they see the reactors. I don't even know that word. While I sit in the corner counting my disasters. I used to have a seichel, I used to be slick. Now the weight of this gullus is making me sick. a lonely chochem, drowning in my tears, carrying the das of 1,000 heavy years. No simcha in my heart, just a deep, dark hole. And this is really rap, because most rappers sing about deep, dark holes they go into. And named LaQuisha. The shadow of the night is swallowing my soul. And now here comes the bridge, the lonely sermon. Again, the drums cut out. And only a solitary scratching vinyl record and a weeping violin remain. Check the bima, check the scroll, everything is bare. I offer up a Kaddish to the empty air. A little bit naughty, but the thrill is gone. Just a sad mamza waiting for the dawn. Again, they calling me a mamza. I'm dodging the gabbai, I'm avoiding the crowd. Too much busha to be speaking out loud. I sip the bitter wine just to numb the ache, wondering how many more losses can I take. And now the cold comfort verse. Heavy, distorted beat slams back in, dragging and sluggish. No desire to flash. Put the kugel away. I would never say that. I would never tell anybody to put kugel away. Bring it out with a pastrami. The mishigas in my mind is here to stay. I look in the mirror. I see a broken golem stare. A soul full of yeshuv that went nowhere. Every single mitzvah feels completely hollow. A bigger pill of maror that I have to swallow. So they brought in a little holiday thing, that's all right. I dragged this fat tuchus back to the bench. Thank you again, thank you for the tuchus thing. Call me a mamza and make fun of my tush. A broken down, grieving, exhausted mensch. Oh, mensch, that's nice. And then the beat slows down, fading into static. Yeah, no more hype. Just the schwitz and the shame. That is my life, ladies and gentlemen. Saul in the dark, forgetting his own name. No, I still, Saul Berkowitz? No, Solomon, there it is. Oy vey, just leave me alone. Saul signing off. Swear to God. And then he asked, should we make the beat even more stripped down? Do you want to add details as to why Saul is so depressed? That'd be a 14-minute song right there. Should we include a glimmer of hope or survival at the very end? No, absolutely not. So these are the two versions of AI written Saul rap songs. The world, my friends, it's a world I do not recognize, especially since I'm forgetting my own name. But ladies and gentlemen, this is all apropos of reading actual human written words again. Because David brought me in not just to do what I've been doing right now, but also to do story time this week. To read a short book with you, share it with you, mock it if I need to, enjoy it if I do. Today, we're doing Miriam and the Dancing Shoes. And by the way, if you've ever seen me dance, you know this is going to be a tragedy. It's by... Oh, thank you. Oh, you know, put this on my... Yeah, grab an appropriate dancing sort of hat. We can put on my kepi. We're going to go over my thing there.
There you go.
There it is. There it is. This is good. Perfect. Sandy Eisenberg Sasso is the authoress, illustrated by Joni Rothenberg, so two Yidlach, about Miriam and her dancing shoes, published, and by the way, I think this is a tamarind apple. I don't know what the hell this is. Can you make this out? Apple? Tomato? Tumor? Hard to tell. This was published, by the way, by Apples and Honey, so it's an apple covered with honey. Now I get it. Which is an imprint of Behrman House Publishers out in Millburn, New Jersey. So, you know, they got the Paper Mill Playhouse and they got this. To our children... FIFA, that's right, and FIFA. Yeah, everybody sit in the stands and read this. To our children and grandchildren, keep dancing. That's from Sandy Sasso. To Adi Gewurz, who will teach us how to move in harmony so we can dance again. That's from J.R. Joni Rothenberg, because this is written in 2025. already post October 7th or October 6th. So, it's going to be a happy book. It was time. Time to leave Egypt. Time for slavery to end. Time to be free. And there's Tinkerbell going along the sands of Egypt. I don't know why the hell that's happening. Some shouted freedom, but others warned the journey will be long and it's too hot in the day. Said, we're going to go, we're crossing Mitzrayim, we're going to get out of it. It's hot, we don't have hats. And, nobody brought the water bottles. What the hell, this Moses guy, you don't know what he's doing. Not happy. Not
Here's the solution,
happy.
Rabbi.
Oh, wait, but then they hear... Only it turns out to be a mirage in the desert, because they're crossing the desert. Oh, yeah. But this is what Jews do. You know this is written by Jews. The journey's going to be long. It's too hot, too cold at night. Dangerous, they're saying. Let me see what else. Next page. Excuse me, let me get my beverage. Manischewitz sparkling white. Sparkling white borscht. Enough complaining! Moses held up his hands. It's like, even Jews sometimes get tired of other Jews complaining. Take only what you can and hurry. And there was no time to argue, no time for bread to rise, hint, hint. The people carried bowls of sticky dough on their shoulders. So if you think we have bad dandruff, oh my God. But not Miriam. She carried a timbrel and her dancing shoes. Because, let's face it, if you're going on any kind of vacation, you always want to bring a timbrel. Dancing shoes to cross a sea, music in the desert. And this is Moses like, hey, give me strength. I'm only 2,000 years from the Holocaust. Hey, we are running for our lives, not planning a party, said Moshe. Miriam shook her head and leaned down to put on her sandals. Now, the soles of her sandals were made from papyrus reeds, which was kind of the Nike of her day, just like the ones where she had hidden Moses as a baby. The reeds had once saved her brother's life. She was certain it would save lives again. Because if you play any kind of musical instrument, you're going to need reeds. The sandals sparkled with sheets of gold and shimmered with beads of many colors. Well, that's just lifting another story from the Bible right there.
Rabbi,
Oh, nice. Okay. And this is so Jewish. Moses says, so impractical. And Miriam says, don't be so sure. She smiles. Before long, the people arrived at the shore of the Sea of Reeds. And by the way, we're doing a Sea of Reeds when we do story time. Well, readings. Okay. Their enemies were behind them. The waters were in front of them. They couldn't go back. They couldn't move forward. Oy, 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 oy. It's kind of like most of us stuck in a dead-end job. Then Moses lifted his staff and he peed for a bit. But then he lifted the wooden staff he was holding and the sea split. The people walked on dry land between walls of water. But soon they were complaining again. Which way should we go? No one gave us directions. We can't see Moses. Or we can't see Moses. We're lost. Miriam's brother was so far ahead, no one could even see his staff or his aides, or even some of the people working for him part-time. Follow me, shouted Miriam. Follow my dancing shoes. No one could miss Miriam's dancing shoes. The reeds that had grown tall and wild along the Nile had been woven into a sturdy sole. The tops were decorated with gold that glowed against the murky bottom of the sea, so the beads sparkled. Look at that. Look at that. She is dancing literally with the stars. Pretty amazing. The people held their noses, and then they were feeling playful and they held each other's noses. But no, they were complaining again. The mud is smelly. We keep slipping and sliding. We cannot go on. Lift up your feet like you're dancing, Miriam sang, and she raised, as she would, the timbrel. Oh, raise that timbrel. And actually, I have a timbrel. Can you give me one of the timbrels there? Oh, yes! Don't take a tumble, just give me the timbrel. Yeah! Timbrel, a timbrel, a timbrel, I like a timbrel, a timbrel. I like it. And the people heard it jingle. I got timbrels that jingle, jangle, jingle. Follow my dancing shoes, she repeated. And they did. They moved their feet to the rhythm. Their steps were firm. Moses looked back. He was amazed. The people were following Miriam's dancing shoes and the music of her timbrel. Plus, I think we can sort of tell she had a pretty nice tuchus. So all the men were like, yeah, I'll follow that. I'll get a piece of that. They were not complaining. They were not grumbling. They were singing and they were dancing, using up energy in the middle of a hot desert, dehydration setting in. But wait, Moses says, that sound is so beautiful. What is it? I do not remember hearing it in Egypt. And the lyrics of the songs are singing, like, who is like the source of freedom, majestic in loneliness, awesome in splendor, working wonders. Not exactly the most memorable lyrics there, I have to say, but under the circumstances, not bad. You didn't have Tin Pan Alley yet. It is the song of freedom and the sound of hope, sang Miriam. So Moses and all the other people joined her. Because Moses was, he stuttered. But it's one of those things where he was singing, he didn't stutter. One of those mental, I don't know why, but there you go. And that's it. Moses and all the other people joined her. They get out of the waters there. They go in. They wander for 40 years, and every single one of them dies. But their children get to be in Israel. And 5,000 something years ago. So shut the fuck up about 1948 being the only time we were there. Okay, dear readers, with her tambourine and her dancing shoes, Miriam led the Israelites in music and dance and brought her people from a place of despair to a place of hope. So with music, she helped them see beyond what was to what could be, kind of like AI. She transformed individuals weighed down by fear into a community that could lift its feet in spirits and joy and hope. This is almost too hopeful for a Jewish book now. Where are you in this story, huh? Are there times when you feel like one of the stragglers, afraid? Are there moments when you are up front with Moses? Are you ever like Miriam? No, I can't dance. What helps you move forward when you just want to give up? And this is a little postscript by Sandy Sasso. And look, oh boy, David Sasso, whom I'm imagining is a relative, wrote all these lyrics. Freedom walks in dancing shoes, and there's even music to go with it, which I can't read because I don't have a piano here. Moses said it's time to leave. The people complained they couldn't believe.
Hold on.
Oh, listen, do I know any music there? Do I have my little keyboard piano thing there?
I'm looking for Rabbi.
My ocarina?
Hold on, yes, I see it. Give me
What about my bagpipes? Do you have my bagpipes? My harmonica kazoo? Oh, look at that. Oh, let's see if this works. I shouldn't have mentioned this because now I have to do it. Oy. Oh, it's working. Ay. So I'm going to need my singing glasses for this. Let's see. That's not a C, and that's not a thingy. Let's see. C's down below. That's up. That's one. All right. So I'll start. And it's an F chord, by the way. Moses said, "It's time to leave. The people complained they couldn't believe. Moses cried freedom. Some cried, wait, the road is long, we don't know our fate. I cannot read to save my life. Here's a C. I know a C. Good, a C. It's time for bread. That's a good one to land on, bread. But Miriam took her dancing shoes. Moses thought, what an odd thing to choose. Yeah, this is great writing here. She carried her timbrel, a big high note here, in her hand as they marched away from Egypt land. Maybe I should just do the chords here. Here's a D minor. Follow thy dancing shoes. Though parted seas, her time, a G minor, I don't remember a G minor, here's an A. There's an A, I think, something like that. Lift up your feet, there's no time to lose, 'cause freedom, where's my A minor? Walks in dancing shoes. I'm sorry I made you sit through that. I'm sorry to the world for making anybody sit through that. Oh, my friends. This was Miriam and her dancing shoes, courtesy of Sandy Eisenberg Sasso, illustrated by Joni Rothenberg. So, yes, and I, by the way, am Rabbi Sol Solomon. If you want to find out more about me and why I was released from custody, go to my website, shalomdammit.com. Shalom, D-A-M-M-I-T, shalomdammit.com, because you can see all the interviews that I've done with people on this Dave's Gone By program. You can also watch and read and hear my rabbinical reflections, my mini sermons on topics in the world itself and the world of Judaism. Plus, don't forget, next week on the show, June 6th, it'll be the special Tony Award edition of the Dave's Gone By show, and I will have a rabbinical reflection about all, or some of, the Tony nominees. It's going to be fun. I may even talk about that. On their Facebook, there's something about body smells. I know all too well about body smells. I'm old and Jewish. But yeah, next week, watch me here. But also all my older rabbinical reflections, shalomdammit.com. You can also watch, speaking of the theater, as I did with William Missouri Downs, my stage show, Shalom Dammit, An Evening with Me, as it was performed at the Richmond Shepherd Theater many years ago, captured perfectly on video. The link is at shalomdammit.com. Also, the link to my hilarious television show, Shalom Dammit, Rabbi Sol Solomon's Peace, Love, and Acid Reflux Hour. Shalomdammit.com for all your solorific needs. So, my friends, it just remains for me to thank you for sharing this book with me. Thank you for sharing the AI song with me. Thank you for tolerating this. Oh, yeah. I'm going to put my timbrel away. Timbrel! And bring David back into the Daverhood. Oh, I should play my klezmer music to end the segment. I always forget to do that. Here it is. Let's do this. Shut up. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's a little bit after 11:30 in the a.m. morning, Eastern Time, in the Daverhood, and you're watching Dave's Gone By, with me, Dave Lefkowitz, and my darling and wonderful and so helpful wife, and all of you, of course, watching at home. You're as much a part of the show as anything else. To see that you're, tuning in on Facebook, watching the archives, whether you're watching us live on Saturday morning or the archives on Facebook, or the archives at davesgoneby.com, the audio archives at castbox.fm, and the regular archives both at archive.org and on Spotify now also. Plus, we have a lot of our material, when it hasn't been blocked, on YouTube. Lots and lots of places and ways to follow this show. And please don't forget, speaking of websites, that my other website, davelefkowitz.org, is the place that you can read my work. So yeah, davesgoneby.com is all about the show, but I've written hundreds of news stories about the theater reviews, interviews with theater and other artsy people. Those are at davelefkowitz.org. Also, all my song lyrics are there. We're going to be doing a Colorado Limerick of the Damned before the end of the show. All my limericks are in one file right there. So if you want to really see just what a lunatic I am, go to davelefkowitz.org, look under Colorado Limericks of the Damned, and read them one after another after another. It's horrifying. Plus, all this other stuff I've written over the past 40 years. davelefkowitz.org. Please do give that a look. Well, we've done already quite a bit, and some would say way too much, on this episode of the show. But we do have our limerick to do, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we are going to Concrete, Colorado. And we will cement the status of concrete in just a little bit. But before we get to that, let's not forget, excuse me, our friends of the Daverhood. Now, these are people who've been on this show, whether it's this week for the first time or going all the way back our 23 and a half years on the air. So, for example, this week, our new friend of the Daverhood is William Missouri Downs. By all means, go see his wife's play that he is directing at the Colorado Fringe Festival, the Denver Fringe Festival, this week, June 4th and June 6th. Get your tickets and see it there. But plus also get his book, The Art of the Theater, Naked Playwriting, his textbooks, and he's going to be having his shows done all over the country, all over the world. Look for WilliamMissouriDowns.com to see where you can, and plus get his novels. He'll have a new one coming out in a couple of months, but the old ones are available. Lots and lots of material for you to read of our brand new friend. Rabbi Sol, of course, follow him. He is at Rabbi Sol Solomon on X or Twitter, at Rabbi Sol Solomon. So check him out there. But again, those are just the folks from today. What about the people who've been on our show before? What are they up to? Our friends of the Daverhood. So, our friends of the Daverhood, this week, letting you know what's going on. Quite a few, got to do a few mazel tovs, which is really nice. Not condolences, not just mazel tovs. So, congratulations to Donna McKechnie, who received an honorary doctorate of music from Manhattan School of Music. Donna, of course, goes all the way back to the original A Chorus Line and is still performing in cabaret. So, very proud that she's been in the Daverhood, and now we have to call her Dr. McKechnie. Mazel tov also to Christine Petty, who has won a Legend of Off-Broadway Award as given by the Off-Broadway Alliance. Well deserved. Mazel tov to artistic director Lorca Perez. Her company, Multi-Stages, just got a NISCA grant that will be going toward their fall production. So yay. All sorts of happy news. We do want to offer a refuah shlema, a get well soon, to Sylvie Simmons, our beloved musician and writer of rock books and rock interviews. She had, didn't say what it was, but she had a minor procedure this week, and she's just getting over it, and she certainly will. Now, in terms of people doing stuff, on Monday, it's the songs of Jeremy Schoenfeld at 54 Below. And then on Thursday the 4th, Stephen Brinberg, Natalie Douglas, Jeff Harner, Karen Mason, and K.T. Sullivan. We got a 5-bagger there, and they're all doing a tribute to Alan and Marilyn Bergman happening at 54 Below. That is this Thursday night. Also on Thursday, Alice Ripley, the Tony winner for Next to Normal, she will be doing her cabaret show at the Laurie Beachman Theater. On Friday the 5th, Craig Pomerantz is doing his cabaret show, Love is a Necessary Evil, which you can see at Don't Tell Mama in Midtown Manhattan. On Broadway, it's Debbie Gravit in Just in Time. That's that Circle in the Square. I think it's Gravit. I've always been mispronouncing that. It's Debbie Gravit. And Harada is in Schmigadoon at the Niederlander Theater, and that may very well win the Tony Award for Best Musical. We're going to find that out next weekend. Andre de Shields is in Cats, the Jellicle Ball. That's up for a Best Revival Tony, and he's up for a Tony Award too at the Broadhurst Theater. Off-Broadway, Amy Mann has written the score for the musical at the Public Theater, Girl Interrupted. Ruben Santiago Hudson, he is in Joe Turner's Come and Gone at the Barrymore Theater, playing now through late July. Our friends also include Evan Seplow, the founder and editor of the New York nightlife website StageBuggy.com. Vicky Quaddy is an actress and playwright who does non-related shows all around Chicago, including her co-written Late Night Catechism. David Shewart writes theater reviews, bunches of them, for TotalTheater.com, and he will be joining us next Saturday on the Dave's Gone By Tony Award special, our annual 21st annual Broadway special. And David, check this out, hon. David is going to be playing trivia.
Please, they should just give up.
I don't know. It's going to be good.
Who?
Oh, it's going to be a
David
very good
is-
field.
David is the GOAT, so I think he's going to win.
Well, it's going to be him against Jeffrey Sweet.
I'm still
The play-
David. I still vote David.
Okay, Evan's pretty
It's
sharp.
like FIFA. I'm betting on David.
And shame on me, I'm blanking. Oops.
What?
Should have made a note on this. I'm blanking on the third contestant.
Well, anyway, David's going to win.
David may
Hands
very
down.
well win.
Hands down.
That's it.
Unless it was, who's the guy who paints the rocks? He's also very good.
He's very good. Ronald.
He's not playing on
Yeah, and I don't think he sees every single Broadway show. So, no, we have a quiz coming up, a trivia game on next Saturday's show. David's going to be a part of that, and a lot of our wonderful friends in the Daverhood will be too. We'll also be giving away a copy of the newest version of Oedipus Rex, translated by Robert Ickes, because they did an Oedipus on Broadway this year. And so we got a copy of the book that we will send to one lucky viewer, assuming you win next Saturday on our special Tony show. Anyway, so David Shewart writes for TotalTheater.com. Eva Heineman, she'll be taking part next week, and you can watch her in her theater review program, High Drama, on YouTube and elsewhere. Plus, Charlie Gross and Leslie Hoban Blake. Definitely we know Charlie's going to be joining us next week. And Charlie. What is, of course, Two on the Aisle. It's like 30-something years old, that show. Charlie Gross and Leslie Hoban Blake. You can watch that on YouTube as well. So, yeah, those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait. Is that copyrighted?
Oh.
No, right?
Oh, no.
Try new one. Just hit a key.
Oh, it's brought in a clarinet.
Hit a key. This is like a sea chanty.
Yeah.
Next one.
Stop. Okay.
I'll turn them off here.
Wonderful electric keyboard there.
Oh, it came in.
We
handy.
spare nothing in terms of props, in terms of items
What's this
to
one?
bring you joy. I don't know. What's what thing?
What's this one? It's kind of.
That turned it off on its own, I think. Oh. This is all apropos of our final segment on this episode of Dave's Gone By. We do this every week, no matter how people beg us not to. This is a poem that I write about different places in Colorado. Big towns, small cities, big cities, ghost towns, little neighborhoods even. If it has a name, and I can rhyme that name 3 times with other things, I turn it into a limerick. And I try to make it a filthy, disgusting, evil, risque, damnable limerick, which is why we call them the Colorado Limerick of the Damned. Little limerick music there, because it's poetry, it's high-toned, you know? But let me tell you a little bit about Concrete, Colorado, because that's where we're going this week. It's a town called Concrete, or it was anyway, founded in 1905. Oh. Now, it's a former factory town in Fremont County in south central Colorado. Now, there were 2 other factory towns at the same time that were competing with Concrete. There was, honest to God, a town called Portland and a town called Cement, Colorado. And it was a rival town to Cement in growing a cement plant in Concrete, Colorado. It's along Highway 120 just south of Penrose and not quite a mile high, about 5,000 feet up or yeah. Now, the town lived and died by its industry, so the post office closed in 1921 and the town ceased to exist in 1925. But the cement plant itself is there. It's now owned by a company called the Holcim Company, and it's still operational in Florence, Colorado. Visitors there in the town, though, see nothing but old roadbeds and an abandoned park. So it's really a ghost town. It's a nothing. But back in the day, 100-something years ago, it did exist. It's on the wiki list of places, and therefore I am allowed and allow myself to write a filthy, disgusting, evil poem about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned for Concrete, Colorado. I dated a girl from Concrete whose manners were not quite discreet. She farted in bed and laughed giving head, then gave me the clap on my meat. Yeah, we save that for the end of the show so that people don't tune out like 10 minutes into the show. But yeah, if you want to complain, write to me, davesgoneby@aol.com, davesgoneby@aol.com. You can also, of course, post your messages to me on Facebook or direct message me there if you're on Facebook. But either way, I love getting your suggestions, your comments, your thumbs up, your praises, your emojis. Love connecting with our growing viewership and fandom in the Daverhood. So, is there anything else that we really haven't brought up or that we need to discuss? Well, let me talk up one more time because we're finishing the 34th episode of Dave's Gone By. Next week will be episode 1035. And as I said, it's going to be our 21st annual Tony Award Broadway special. And we keep it special. What we do is we talk to a bunch of my theater critic friends and colleagues, and we give them each a category of Tony nominated: featured actor in a play, orchestration, lighting design, costume design, best play, best musical revival. Each one gets a category to talk about for about 8 to 10 minutes and really go through the names, say what they think will win, what they wish would win, if there's anybody left out of the category that should be in there, egregiously overlooked. So it's a lot of fun, and it's not dry or anything like that. We all care about the theater and love the theater. So it's people talking shop about what they really know and love. For about 3.5, maybe 4 hours next Saturday, our usual time, 9 until 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We won't be playing any music because we want to have the show archived on YouTube and other places. But we will have a giveaway, as I said, of a copy of the new Oedipus Rex translation and adaptation. We will also have our trivia quiz. I know who the three baggers are. It's David Seward, Jeffrey Sweet, and my old friend and boss, Robert Viagas. So that's going to be a real trio of players there.
David. David Shore.
Very possibly.
He's got the most broad knowledge, and I think he will. I think he will. If
So-
it was about ghosts, it would be Robert Viagas. And if who's the other guy?
Jeffrey Sweet, the playwright.
So if it was about playwriting, it'd be him. I think David is the most general.
Yeah, but they're all
generalist.
very. Jeffrey Sweet was writing the introductions to the Otis Guernsey
That's
Best
where I
Plays
know the
books
name.
before
Yeah,
I
but
did.
But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that he thoroughly read everything.
Well, we're
He
sorry.
could have skimmed.
And meanwhile, of
I'm
course,
Team David.
and David Seward does have sort of the in because he wrote books for Backstage when he was there about all the awards. So, yeah, these are very knowledgeable people who'll be doing our trivia. Plus, we'll have a look back at a couple of the people that we lost from the Daverhood who were in theater over the past season from spring of 25 through late spring of 26. And what else is there? I mean, we usually find other files. I'll give you facts and figures about the Broadway season.
Will you have a quiz?
I will. Yes, we're going to have the trivia quiz
Or not with David?
with David and Robert and Jeffrey. What?
Why did I think that was going to be done somewhere else? I lost my mind. Okay.
But we will maybe have a trip. I got to figure out how to give away the Oedipus book. So we're going to
Email it.
Well, I know how to get it, but in other words, what do I make people do to get it? And the words. Let's see.
Why don't you have the quiz people make a hard question up? And then
Ooh.
they get so you won't know. You can't be biased. Whoever wins the quiz makes a question,
Mm.
and then whoever writes in the answer or types it first on Facebook
First and
wins
gets
it.
the
But
book.
it's not your question, so you don't know it. They
Hmm.
have to make it up. Just tell them ahead of time so they're prepared.
That's actually a great idea. Thank you. See,
It's a miracle I can think.
this is the reason I keep her around. Well, I keep her around for a lot of reasons, actually. That's my darling
I
Aunt
know
Orville.
how to order.
That too. So remember, don't miss our 1035th episode next Saturday. Same bat time, same batshit channel. It's Dave's Gone By. So I think we've covered it. We're actually coming in under the 3-hour mark this week. That's amazing, my friends. But we will see you next time. Until then, don't miss your Dave's going by. And hold on. What? Why is it doing this? Why can't I just get Oh, I know why. Sorry about this. Our outro theme.
Days gone by. Days gone by. Days gone by.
And remember, all of you, be good.